the show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, and everyone all in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot fan's wet dream. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her own, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, the party and let's roll. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers the show.
Hello everyone, good evening, welcome to Transformers the show. Really special one tonight, we're joined by David Cousens. David, thank you for coming on, how are you?
I'm really good, thank you, and hi everybody. It's lovely to be on.
We are honoured to have you on. We've got really good show coming up to you tonight. We've got the top 5 most traumatic moments in Transformers history which affected you as a kid, so slightly scary. Plus we've got who did you want to be when you were a kid and watching Transformers, and who do you want to be now, who best represents you now? Now we're slightly older by a few years, Pete by quite some years. But before all of that, it's time for the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Sorry, I was just distracted by Mick's horrific comment. Give it a rest, Mick, for the love of God. Right, let's start with Studio Series 86 Megatron, who Takara have kind of given us a first look at with this lovely teaser that they put out for their Studio Series releases. So there he is on the right. We've got, that looks like a movie style Seeker behind. Some people thought it might be the Transformers 1 Starscream, but that looks more movie-ish to me, like Bumblebee movie. But we'll see. The Constructicons on the left, and down front, is that RC of some kind? Or
Elite
something
One.
like that?
That's Elite One.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, from TF1.
Oh yeah, it will be, won't
Definitely.
it? Yeah, which might that still looks like the movie Bumblebee. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We're getting them, and Takara have kind of leaked this out, which is amusing because there's some pictures later on, and we'll explain it. We'll get to it. Anyway, there is the kind of cropped photo people have been sharing of Megatron. He looks very Megatron.
I just hope by that image we've got a proper head sculpt. That's what I'm looking for.
If that's the head sculpt, that will.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy with that. More than happy. But we don't know. We haven't got it yet. There's people are still asking lots of questions, like if it turns into a tank, where do the tank treads go? Does it have a backpack? Blah, blah, blah. We will find out. We will find out in time. Probably sooner rather than later, now that Takara have put this out.
The main bit is that this looks good. Like that generally looks really good. That you can kind of make quite a lot of it out. Some people saying it's the Earthrise. It's not the Earthrise sculpt, is it? I don't think it is.
I don't think so. It looks different. There's differences you can see on it.
Plus, the Earthrise sculpt has got that hideous face, hasn't it? It's just
the head.
Mela Shades said I'm the only one that's brought some of David's art to the chat. So
no, not the only one. I've got some up there. So yeah,
I've got loads of it over the table.
I'm in the club too. Yeah, David's brought some because he's a good salesman. Right, that wasn't the only thing though. So they're doing another Takara that is doing another dramatic capture set, and it is what we assume to be Thundercracker and Reflector in the kind of cartoon Reflector colors. Refractor they call him now, but it's Reflector. Let's not beat around the bush here. But we don't know for definite, but that's what we assume from that scene in More Than Meets the Eye from the original G1 cartoon. So that'll be cool. We've already seen this, but they also teased the anime-style Bumblebee and Cliffjumper 2-pack for Missing Link, it must be said, rather than dramatic capture. That is coming as well. So all of those lovely things coming. If they're not already up for pre-order somewhere, they will be soon. Let's move on.
And it should be noted, Hasbro Pulse UK now put Takara pre-orders up, so
yes, so we can get some now, which is nice because it means we might be less likely to miss out on things. Right, so the Lego Soundwave set, we've had more information about it from Instagram user BrickClicker, who has apparently been a very reliable source of Lego information in the past.
I mean, no, well saved, because that could have gone horrifically wrong.
No flagging from YouTube.
Where were we? Anyway, Soundwave, 1,502 pieces, $180 in US money. August 1st release date, and set will include the Lego Sound brick piece. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing you play sounds through it, so we'll find out. There you go. As always, take it with a grain of salt because nothing's been confirmed yet. Moving on. So this is what I was talking about before. So that is 86 Studio Series 86 Megatron's arm. Now, this came about because of what was his name again? Laserwave. So Laserwave on socials and things, I think it was Instagram or Snapchat or something. Instagram probably. He posted these teaser photos because he's obviously got it in hand. So we had this one. There's his arm punching through the box.
I think that's cool. Yeah.
Then we had this one. And obviously, you know, being the way we are as a fandom, we all went crazy sharing these photos of basically arms. There's another one. You know, he's facing the other way. Clever. Yeah. And then finally, that one. That's a little Megatron as a gun that comes as an accessory with Megatron.
Well, that's clever.
Yeah.
How it transforms so small.
It actually shrinks down. It's amazing. It's mass shifting in real life.
Yes, we've been asking for it for decades now, and they've done it.
Finally.
So we got all that, and then he put a post on basically saying that he has been told to take things down and not show anything else now. But obviously, by then the photos that he had.
How did they tell them this time? Did they send?
I don't know.
Team?
He's contacted by a lawyer. I don't
Gary.
know.
It's Gary Hasbro. Oh,
Gary Hasbro knocked on his
so
door.
angry. Send Gary in.
That guy.
Take them photos down. You dirty. No, I won't say that.
Ooh.
Slug. You dirty slug. There you go. It's
Always
fine.
Andy.
I said slug.
Always
I said slug. It's always me. Why always me? And then we had this one. We're like, people are like, what? And this apparently is the leg of Studio Series concept art Widowmaker. Okay. I've seen a concept art picture of a character that apparently was going to be Widowmaker and was going to be, I think, in the movie. But anyway, I don't know. So there it is. It's a leg. I know, we're all thrilled. Right. Let's move on. This could be good or really disappointing. So this is the Studio Series Devastation Game Sideswipe and Wheeljack, and we haven't actually seen pictures of them, but these pictures have been put up somewhere and shared, I think, to try and show the style that their characters had in the game. These are going to be Target exclusives, and TFW 2005 shared these. And I don't know if this is pointless or not, because like it is just the artwork from the actual characters in the game. But I suppose it gives us an idea of kind of the look that we might have in the deco. But are these just going to be repaints? Like, is this just going to be the sideswipe again?
I don't know.
And Wheeljack again.
We got the Optimus Prime, didn't we, from the game, and he's not good.
He's different.
So
It's not good.
he's not good.
That's very charitable.
It's so amazing. It's such a great mold, but I'm so bored of it. Like the 80 times they've re-released it now. Like it is a good mold. Please don't re-release it. Hopefully it'll be a nice new mold.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And then there you go. There's the product numbers, I suppose, if you want to use them to. I don't know what you do with them. Put them in Google and see what happens.
Intercept.
Intercept them. Yeah, find out what trucks they're like a raid. It'll be great.
Avoid Gary Hasbro.
I realise, strictly speaking, DNA Design is, of course, third party, but this is for a Hasbro figure, so I've chucked it in here. So this is the Combiner upgrade kit for Menasor, the Legacy one that we recently had. So you got the original on the left, the DK38A upgrade kit, and DK38. So you can kind of see. So that's how it looks like from the back, which doesn't really seem that different.
He's got his
black.
tape measure
That's
out.
why it's black, yeah.
So what's it done? It's giving him a couple of extra inches on the
You got those
leg,
bits.
isn't
You
it?
get the chest. You get new thigh pieces, new feeties, some other bits. 2.3 millimeters times 8 millimeters times 9 millimeters for the screw, or 2 millimeters by 5. This is thrilling stuff. And a sword.
It's going to be
and
like
hand.
£1,000 though, isn't it? It's going to cost as much as
It's going to cost
buy
us
all
90
5
quid.
Sonicons.
I mean, it looks good. I don't know if it looks that much better than it did before. I mean, the chest piece is nice. I don't mind that. But like anybody else, like particularly.
I mean, it's going to give you a bit of extra height, isn't it?
Do you need it though?
No, not.
I was going to make an inches joke, but I don't want to get flagged up by YouTube.
YouTube's all right with it. We've made quite a few of those jokes.
Yeah, go for it. Let's be wild tonight. Anyway, there you go.
What? Jazz hands.
I think he's reaching for the sword. All right. Those hands. I don't like the hands. The fingers are far too spindly.
Creepy.
Yeah, they're creepy.
Extremely niche complaint. Spindly.
It looks like he's trying to get me into an amateur dramatic society. I don't like it.
My Amdram days are behind me. Anyway, so there's that. Right, we'll carry on. Everybody's a big fan of these. So via Amazon Japan, we've had our first stock images of the new Transformers Wild King Wave 3 energy beasts. So we have seen some of the Wave 1 and I think Wave 2 stuff previously. This is the Wave 3. So it consists of Nemesis Prime, a new redeco of Energy Master Megatron, which does look quite nice actually, and 3 new energy beasts, a Stegosaurus, a bull, and a saber-toothed cat. I'm sure they probably all have names, but I don't know which one goes with which. But anyway, let's have a look at the photos. So, there's the Stegosaurus. I quite like the head sculpt on that, actually. Weirdly. Looks different. Kind of cool. And some people are gonna be collecting these. I know Mellow Shades in the chat. He gets these. They're not for me, generally speaking.
I love it if that was your review. Some people will collect these.
Tune in next time.
Well, I'm not noticing too many of you rushing to say, I can't wait to get mine. So I'm going to assume that not many of us will be getting these. But yeah,
it's just like smash it all together.
Oh, that was an arm.
Yeah, sorry. I should have explained that
I was
before.
looking at thinking, what on earth is that supposed to be?
They turn into arms that then connect, so it's a bit of a combiner play.
That just looks wrong. His waist thing, especially the photo back with his legs split. Go back, back a photo. That's just I mean, this is wrong. Content warning.
The DNA kit.
Get it flagged.
You can't unsee it now. It's always going to be there. You know.
I look forward to the DNA kits for these. Yeah,
India must feel represented. That's all I can say.
Anyway, there's a bull.
Just like, give us your favourite bull impression. It's just, I'm sure
the things must be something. They must be related to the power. The Megatron's quite a nice.
Megatron's got it as well, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. Massive formers.
They've even drawn it on just so you know what it is. You know?
Oh dear. Anyway, there's that.
Those crazy Japanese, crazy.
The saber-tooth cat thing. There it is.
He's been neutered, hasn't he? He's got nothing there.
You've seen his eyes; they're dead.
There you go. It's an arm. You know. You would be if you'd been neutered. Right.
Are you sure you don't want my head to stay on my body? No, I definitely want your head up here.
Yeah.
On my shoulder.
You want to be tapping it. Have it further up my shoulder. Right. Then there was this Yolo Park. I've shared these pictures, these teasers of their AMK Pro Bumblebee movie Soundwave. And apparently this figure will be the first Yolo Park figure to have transformable parts, which the expectation is a Ravage that actually transforms. But it's still not 100% confirmed yet, I don't think. But that's the rumor, the very strong rumor that's being shared and was shared by Team Review.
Does that mean Yolo Park might be more with Takada now? Considering Hasbro still seem to be a bit stuck with non-transforming parts.
Maybe. I mean, the Ravage thing I think comes from it's on the picture there, but I guess it's. Yeah, they don't like. I mean, Hasbro certainly don't like other companies having transforming things, but Takara have let
Flame Toys, is it?
Yeah, Flame Toys have a little bit of a dabble with it. So yeah. Anyway,
it's hardly. I suppose you wouldn't use Bumblebee Soundwave as a proof of concept, though, would you?
It's a strange choice to me, unless they're just using the Ravage. It's the Ravage basically because it's small and easily transformable, generally speaking.
And Hasbro might not notice it because they've got very bad eyesight.
I just won't be looking. What was that? Carry on.
I swear that transformed. No, it didn't, Hasbro. It didn't.
No, it didn't. You're drunk, Hasbro. Go home. Anyway, it announced that John Paul Bove. Is it Bove or Bove? I never know how to pronounce his surname properly. Is it Bove or Bove? Beauvais.
Beauvais.
I think.
Is going to be at TFN this year. Not a surprise. He is a regular there. Always nice to see him there. And of course,
I would like his mum to come to TF Nation so we can know for sure.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think he'd know. I'd like to think he can tell us himself. He doesn't
Well,
need to
I
bring
don't
his
know.
mum.
You often get the name they want to be known as, but yeah, family are honest.
Okay. Paul. Oh no, we haven't got to that yet. Never mind. So this is the MPG teaser from Takara, which hasn't actually been confirmed as Hauler, but we saw an MPG Hauler at one of the shows like a month ago. They did one of those shows over in the Far East, and there was an MPG Hauler. So like they're saying it's not confirmed, but
I just hope it's released in the original G1 cartoon colours on that episode, just to annoy people.
Yeah, well, it'd be the green version if it is the one we saw.
No, it won't be. It'll be the orange. It was orange. His first appearance, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, kind of orange yellow.
Right, there you
not
go.
precise.
All right.
More than meets the eye. Was it part 1? I think so.
Well, maybe we'll find out. Well, we will find out. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Otherwise, Takara wouldn't have done this. We're not showing you.
Unless you're colorblind, then you'll never know. Really, you have to trust people.
Apparently, we should note that it has an alternate gun nozzle hand, a chromed realistic truck front, and a new flatter truck front. Also, apparently very intriguing is the head sculpt, but the entire head area appears to be new compared to the uses they've done for grapple and artfire. So, yeah.
Well, it's a different size, isn't it now? So
yeah. Well, this is what I thought, but is it? Well, we'll find out.
We can polish it, but we're just going to give you artistic. Yeah.
If you have it, it's fine. I've got screen caps just in case we couldn't get it working or any problem with it. But you know, anyway, while you're looking for that, Transformers Cyberworld, we've had the first teaser trailer, which is what you can see there, basically. And that's it. It's a teaser trailer for Cyberworld. Should I click on, or do we think we'll?
I can get the trailer. Yeah, click on, and by the time you finish the news, I have it downloaded, ready to play.
Brilliant.
I would quite like to watch it. To be fair,
yeah, it's worth It's worth a little watch. So it opens up above a planet that looks at least a bit like planet Earth. We see Prime and some other Autobots, obviously looking very businesslike because there's a threat coming. We get the logo. No idea what that is in the bush. I can't remember. We'll have to watch it.
What Transformers this? I want to know his name. I must know.
It's one-eyed. I'm guessing Shockwave, but it probably won't be. It'll be somebody.
Stalkerbot.
Elita One as a boat. Is that Elita One as a boat? It looks like Elita One colors. And then what we assume is a new design for a Seeker. I think in the trailer it looks a bit dark colored. It looks a bit maybe like Skywar, but I don't know. We'd have to watch it again. I've only watched it once. And then they see this light climbing up to the sky. And when they get there, ooh, who could that be? Scorponok, yeah. And then you see some of the Autobots down at the bottom there. So feel free to. Oh, not just Autobots, because is that? Oh no, that's Grimlock, isn't it? On the left, that's the design for it.
It's got a different design, though, hasn't it? He's got his.
Yeah, it certainly has.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can all speculate and accumulate and procreate. And then it finishes with a nice shot of Prime looking all businesslike again.
I would like to argue Skywarp's wrong. We can judge what we want, Skywarp. We don't care about target audience. Yeah. It's all about me and them. You know?
We'll get them. We'll get the trailer up for the end of the news. But I thought it looked quite good.
It doesn't look bad. It's probably worth a watch. It's probably not aimed necessarily at adult collectors, but let's give it a chance. It could be good. And if it's bad, we can take it off.
Yeah, so, we can.
Like old people do. Right, do you want to do third-party news?
Always. I always want to do third-party news. That, to me, is the best part of the whole... Oh, I found it now.
Battle this. It's heavy metal cruncher time as Optimus Prime goes toe-to-toe with Combat Megatron. Prime is one tough dude underneath his hood. He's a Transformer missile fire phenomenon. Combat Megatron is combat armed. His mighty mega missiles are slamming. He can metamorph and use mega force, but coming out the missile still standing.
Cool.
And that is classic 90s hip-hop. Right. Doctor Wu have revealed through their Weibo account images of the first color sketches of DWE58 Rocket Giant, which is their version of Omega Supreme. It's in that chibi style, 10 centimeters tall. 10 centimeters tall, I said, Pete. All of you at home with your
Huge.
measures.
Absolutely massive.
Yeah. Transforms into his rocket base. He can transforms into a small cube, which apparently is an energy cube. He comes with a Robo Doctor figure. And first pre-orders will include a pair of tools for the Robo Doctor figure. Ooh. No concrete information on price or release date at this point. But watch this space, because you know they'll be selling it at Primetime Toys. Without doubt. Unless Moff comes in the chat and says we're not. Right. We'll move on to more knockoffs, third-party stuff. I mean, Byway TW1035, oversized knockoff Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. So they've taken the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime mold and they've made it bigger. Have they made it better? Probably.
Probably.
Because it looks quite good.
Yeah, that's good.
Because the Studio
Axe
Series 1 wasn't amazing.
I mean, come on now. How are they not getting sued for that picture on the front of the box, though? Like, seriously. I'd sue. Anyway.
No one can afford the trade, like, get them in, can they? Of course, in America. So it's just like, I think it's making them a bit like, they're becoming more brazen. Like, if you look at Romulus, like, the box art was like almost like Studio Series box art. So I think they're thinking, oh, China's not going to climb down on us, so we'll become more and more brazen with it. But it's interesting how there will be a point, won't there, where Hasbro go, right, come on, you're taking the piss now.
Yeah, probably. I do think this looks quite good, though. I think that it comes with a bundle of accessories as well, so that helps. So if you're a big fan of Transformers 1 Optimus Prime, this would probably be worth picking up. I don't have the size information in terms of his height.
So someone just asked, is he upscaled? He's about 4 foot.
Yeah, he's upscaled.
He's a small child.
He's 4.
Massive Transformer.
The Studio Series 1 is about 6.5 inches.
Yeah, this is bigger than that. So that's why it's called
Seven.
oversized.
7 inches.
Quite possibly. Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so there's that. Oh yeah, I forgot we had more pictures. There's his backpack. And then we're going to Craftsman Toys with their version of Computron and the Technobots. So this is Tactic Lord, Set C, Jet, and Carl. Which again, Carl, one of the best third-party names.
I like that name. Sounds like a guy you can go to the pub with. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a solid
Good
guy.
Yeah. Likes a good game. Yeah.
Sure, he can get a bit leery after a few pints, but you know he'll have your back, so that's all right.
Well, here's a bit of
Carl,
you know,
calm down. Turn yourself into an arm.
I just like the idea of like fast lane nose cone and Carl.
Yeah. Even have to change his name. They just like, Carl. Said the designer, Carl.
Is that cool? Yes.
Anyway, as usual, it's hard to tell too much because they don't even look like grey prototypes, and for some reason all in black.
Pete's got the first one, haven't you? You've got the nose cone. Yeah. Loads of people on the Facebook getting really excited about this on Transformers Show Facebook page.
Correct.
Including myself. I've ordered the nose cone. The nose is on its way. But yeah, they just look good. Really good. Well done.
I like the alt mode. Yeah.
Well done. Well done. So you're speaking to a 5-year-old. Well done. It sounds wonderful.
Toys sat at home going, yes.
Yes.
Ringing him up. Mom, yeah. He likes Carl. Yeah, he does.
Knew it was a good name.
I love it. The rifle is freaking awesome. The actual gun he's holding. Can we call it a gun?
And you know, it's got a subtle groin thrust there. I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Subtle.
Minimal groin thrust.
Yeah, but it's there. Dangerous. You know?
Stretching the hip flexor rather than actually forcing it in your face.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've seen this diagram before, haven't we? But anyway, there you go. And so that's good. They're excited. Lots of people are very excited. And then it's time for a Big Mac. So this is Big Mac Toy Big 01, which is Fortress Maximus. Oh, no, it's not. But I mean, for legal reasons, it's not what it is. So this shows off more of the accessories for it. He is 760 millimeters tall, or 29.9 inches. Break it out.
What's that in feet?
29 inches.
29.9 inches for the actual Fortress Maximus. Yeah.
That's quite on the big side. That's
It is.
G1.
It's gonna
That's
be
G1 Fort Max size.
It's gonna be big.
We've done this, haven't we?
It's not going to be small. Big. Yeah, it's going to be pretty big. This is all
Well,
the bits
they're
and pieces. It's massive. Look, there you go. 602 millimeter sword. Suits you. Comes with other bits and pieces. You get the little rifles. All the bits for the city mode. Obviously, his little headmaster. Is it Spike or whatever we called him at that point? And the sword can split, and he's going to come with his little robot buddies. And there he is, 760 millimeters tall, with no face. But we have.
So we've seen the head now. We've seen the
still
body,
didn't put it
but they
on.
still can't put it together.
You know, somebody was sat there and went, "Oh, but that means I'll have to do some photoshopping. I can't be bothered."
I may have to use the original photo. Oh no. No.
I think this is a company that respects Barry Hasbro, and that's why they haven't put him. Yeah.
John Hasbro's cousin. Anyway, right.
Quick, if you say his name 5 times in front of a mirror, you'll appear. Like, I don't know.
Big Mac. Sorry, Hasbro. Right, we'll move on to some more Doctor Wu stuff. So
Oh, that's an awesome photo.
They have revealed their color prototypes of DWE61 Brutality and DWE62 Slaughter, which is their G1 Slugfest and Overkill. Slugfest on the right, in case you didn't know, and Overkill on the left. So, just makes me think of Brutality, just makes me think of the Rhea Ripley song. For all the wrestling fans out there.
Yeah. No, just me.
See you.
You and Andy.
Naked,
Wrestling chat the show.
naked, topless men.
I mean, she's called Rhea Ripley, but okay. It's cool. Trust me.
I don't
Google it.
watch this. Do you mean
Google
you
it
actually
on
have
the
women in that?
Anyway, there's the alt mode.
Have I been missing out?
Yeah, you really have. Oh, yeah, I already said that. Cassette mode, dyno modes, weapons included, and they should be released in about 1 month for those people who are wanting to pick these up. And there you go. That's about it,
They
really.
do actually look good for third party. I'm always impressed.
They really
Yeah,
did.
they're just teeny. Fans Hobby, MB32, Armor Eagle. These photos came from I Am No Fire on Weibo. This is their Masterpiece Scale Pretender Metal Hawk. And now we have kind of proper finished in-hand photos of him. Both really apply there. So,
I
Ask your
paid for
judgment.
it this morning. I'm actually quite excited about this.
I'm sure you'll be paying it for quite some time.
I think third party are missing a trick here. I think they could help cosplayers out by releasing human-sized armor like that, which you could just attach to yourself.
Costume.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
I would struggle at TFN to sit there all night with that face talking to you if you wore that mask.
I'm just thinking about using that to go to Tesco or like Lidl,
With the helmet
strutting
on.
myself. Yeah,
Strutting in like that.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You've ordered it and you paid for it, Pete. What is it about it that appeals to you? Clearly not the face.
No, it's not. Nor is it the jet mode. I just really like the concept of making it a pretender, but it's not really a pretender, if you see what I mean. I'd like to see how it all fits together. I think the Tiger, I think the robot mode is exceptional. I don't have a Metal Hawk, so I can't wait. I think it looks quite good. Plus, I haven't had a Fans Hobby toy before.
I think it's good. I think it's a cool idea third party are doing. I think it's because we've all been wanting pretenders, and this is as close as we've got so far. And I think it's a novel, workable approach. So Hasbro, if you're watching this, use them as a test or whatever, and just copy it and take it.
We discussed this the other week. Just nick it because you own the IP anyway. So what they're going to do? Sue you? Just nick it.
I'll tell you. I will ring Barry. I'll ring Barry and tell him what I think of it. And if it's a good idea, you watch 2026.
Pete,
Barry doesn't have a phone. He's only got a pager, so not sure what you're going to do with that.
Also, he doesn't want to talk to you, Pete. He doesn't want to talk to you. You know that. Why would you bring that up? Barry will be very upset. Anyway, there it is. How much did it cost, Pete?
£85, £84.
That's
80.
reasonable. That's a reasonable price by anybody's measurements of spending £85 on a plastic transforming toy. Once again, available.
Almost sounded judgy.
Not me. Moving on. It's more Doctor Who. So they've repainted the Omega Supreme we saw earlier on, and we're going to get it in the Blue Guardian colours. That's about it. I'm not even going to go into any more of it than that. It's literally the same thing.
Don't pretend that Alice you could.
It's your boy Blue. It's your boy Blue. There it is. And then we go on to this. So this is Vincordor V3306B Fire of the Sky, which is an oversized knockoff Hasbro Commander class shattered glass Jetfire. And the photos will show it alongside the original. So we'll get to them in a second. Lighty up eyes.
Lighty up eyes.
That's the technical phrase, Jamie, as we know in the news biz. Jet mode. I mean, we know what this will look like, but that's the size difference for those. I beg your pardon?
Fudge.
Flipping heck. Indeed. I thought that's what you were saying, Pete. Yeah.
Fudge me. That's a big lad.
He really is. And he looks angrier than the original as well.
He's also a bit thinner. He's a bit more svelte.
Yeah. That's up well.
But yeah, it's an oversized knockoff. I like it because I love the colours, and I want one of these. I missed out on the shot glass one, so I want one of these in these colours. So I intend to try and pick one of these up to see what it's like. But yeah, and it comes with the usual gubbins that the original did, and a flight standy thing, so you can,
That's quite cool.
flight stand him. Words are hard today. It's really hot. Anyway,
It is hard.
one of the most confusing names in third-party history. Here is Robot Toys RT05, a masterpiece scale. Although apparently this isn't the masterpiece scale one. Somebody said this one is the Legends scale one. But anyway, this is their version of Tarantulas, and they've called it Black Beetle. What? Yeah, Black Beetle. Why? I don't know. So this is the Legends one, but apparently there's a masterpiece scale one coming.
7.5 centimeters.
Indeed.
It's tiny, isn't it?
That's like
It's
Doctor
really
Wu
small.
size.
Doctor Wu. Stop saying it. Yeah, well, it's coming for you Tarantulas fans, like you, Pete. Yeah, see, Mellow Shade's excited. Was that you representing Mellow Shade? Yay. Oh, Tarantulas friends. Anyway,
Hey,
right.
I'm happy to leave. I'm happy to leave.
Hey,
And it looked like an actual spider, won't it? If it's tiny.
Yeah, you can scare people with it, like leave it on people's pillows for a laugh. Anyway, there you go. So there's that. Laser Cat Toys Bruti, which is their super deformed Bruticus. And this is the combined mode. So they did the Predaking, didn't they? Which we all agreed looked kind of cool.
Yeah, I love the name of the the one called Cock.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I've never seen something that I don't want that I want so much. Like,
Exactly.
it's weird.
I don't want this, but I want
I feel
this.
confused.
Oh, so chibi. And you get a couple of different chest plates, so you can have it toon or toy style, depending on which you prefer. And there's the little individual ones.
I'm just looking
They
forward to
look
the
quite
names.
cool, though, don't they?
It does look really cool.
Oh, cute.
love it. Japan, why do you do this to us?
Why? They don't go with anything. Why am I going to buy them?
He says as he walks through the trader hall at TFN. Anyway, then we have this from Robot Toys. This is their other reveal, which is R2D02 B Drill, their masterpiece scale Waspinator. 16 centimeters. Is that masterpiece scale then? 16 centimeters?
No.
I mean, I know that those things are supposed to be smaller. I find it very confusing labeling it as masterpiece scale 16 centimeters. Anyway, there it is. Why call it?
I mean, he is a
B-Drill?
small character, isn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the only reason I can think of for it, is that, like, canonically they were smaller than you.
But he's actually a small character for a Beast Wars character as well.
Yeah. I find it interesting that they've called him, to avoid calling him Waspinator, they've called him another property's name. So they've got Pokemon Beedrill.
Exactly. So we've gone full on Pokemon. Let's just piss them off. But there we are. So there's that coming. And then this is for Paul and all of the other Warhammer 40,000 fans. Tell us about it, Paul.
Thank you, Andy. Well, my friend Andy sent me a link to say that Joy Toy are releasing this. So I love Joy Toy. You might be able to see I have a bit of an army of Joy Toy Blood Angels up there, which guard me at night. Not my family, just me. But the option to get this, it's £70. I don't get this. Like, why is it £70? Why is it not £600 or something? It's bigger than.
It's not scale.
Oh, it was though. Could you imagine him rocking up the TFN in this? Tunes on, arm out the port. I don't know. You don't really have windows on the tank. That would probably not take use.
They're probably 5-inch figures that need to fit in there. I find it weird. The guy I've ordered on is a guy that I've worked with Joy Toy for years, so I know it's right. It's the right price. But yeah, just a massive tank for £70. Can't wait to have it. I have no idea where I'm going to put it because it can't go on the shelf. It's too big to go on the shelf unless I make some sort of mega shelf. The shelf's going to be more expensive than the tank. But yeah, just like everyone just lost their shit about this because Joy Toy also, like, they heavily go into the Ultramarines and like they're kind of like the most popular one. So they do a lot of Ultramarine stuff and they've done no vehicles ever. And then suddenly they've gone, we're doing this and we'll do it in Blood Angels. And everyone's like, whoa. And that's how cool my life is.
I can't wait till you literally drive into your bedroom in this and just do the show from the turret.
Anyway, I'll tell you later.
Will it fit the regular like Joy Toy like Space Marines?
Oh shit! Sorry.
I believe it's supposed to.
Yeah, it will. You can put them in. You can put them in. It's massive, absolutely massive. I think it will be not as big as a Thunder tank, but it won't be far off that size. But I could be wrong. And the Thunder tank was only £70, wasn't it, Pete? So
yeah,
that was good.
What kind of a person buys these silly, oversized toys?
How did this become a lynching of me?
This isn't lynching.
Life, life. Do you want to do? Shall I do the trailer?
Yeah. Knock it on. Seeing we've
all right, cool. So this is the trailer for Cyberworld, Transformers Cyberworld. Let's have a look.
New program module activated. Please enter challengers. Commence program in 3.
Till all are one.
There we go. Someone said about copyright strike, which we do get a lot when we play things from the internet. But we're normally being all right, aren't we? Trailers have always been all right, I think.
You'll have a good weekend. Dave's already assuming you're off. Hey, he said the line, Guzzy. He said the Optimus Prime line, so it's all fine. Everything's fine.
All right, cool. I thought it looks good. Anyway, so if we're still live, I think we're still live, yeah. So let's do pickups, shall we? What did you get this week? Pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Dave's joking. Dave, give me a heart attack. Right, what did you get? Should we start, Jamie? Is it all right to start with you? What did you get this week, Transformers wise?
Yeah. Well. This is well, actually, I picked up some of this stuff. Now, there's a story behind this. This was, for one of my pictures. Now, when I was driving to the orphanage to give some presents away, I had an epiphany. And my epiphany was an idea to take a scene from Woven Meets the Eyes, the first sort of Transformer episodes. And, so I needed to get some wood. And obviously, you know, cutting down trees in the forests and get bitten, it's a bit dangerous, you know, because there's wild badgers out there, and Mayland can only fight off so many. So we thought we'd best go somewhere else, you know. We did try, you know, but to be honest, her screams of anguish were putting me off, you know, as badgers attack. So we went to Hobbycraft, and we picked up some planks of wood there, which was far easier than I envisioned. And I got some paint from Hobbycraft as well. It was quite, you know, fortuitous, you know, being a Hobbycraft store. And so I painted it. I did the painted bit. You know, I was out there in the sun and painting away to help build this sort of diorama, this sort of placeholder for this photo, which I'm about to show. And that was the sort of, can you guess the episode, David?
Is it Call of the Primitives?
No, close.
Wait, what?
Pete, can you guess?
No.
No.
He means he's not allowed. He's been banned.
Oh well, moving on. So anyway, I done that. Used the sort of like wood to act like a sort of dam, and there's the sort of behind the scenes shots there.
Oh wow.
You know, to help sort of create that sort of image. So it was like a placeholder, and also to act like a dam as well. And I took the water effect. That was from the actual episode itself, and I just you know, put that on.
Oh,
so
nice.
So it took a bit of effort, took a bit of time, but I really enjoyed doing it, and it was something quite different and outside my comfort zone as well. So
I think that's honestly one of your best photos. You have a lot of good photos, but that you can see the effort behind it, but honestly, really striking image.
It works really well, Jamie. It's really good.
Yeah.
The thing that doesn't let it down, but Megatron's face, he just looks so happy. It's like he's not fighting crime. He's just really happy to be out. Look at him. It's like, I'm having
that's because that's the moment when Spike, not Spike, it was Spike, wasn't it? Spike goes, help, because he's getting beaten up by his Rumble, and Optimus goes, oh, turns around, and then Megatron clubs someone, and then he falls into the river.
Hear that over the sound of a goddamn dam and the battle he was got.
Anyway, Spike screams like a little, not saying.
The Spike's really shrill.
And I also picked up the triple takeover set, so I got myself Starscream, and these colours really are that vibrant. I mean, I kept picking that up, you know, when I was doing the editing, and thinking to myself, you know, double checking, you know, because sometimes I was looking at it and thinking, if I just really vibrant, because sometimes you can really just, you know, sex these photos up too much and go too vibrant. And I kept checking, I went, no, he really is that vibrant. You know, him and Blitzwing are, you know, be a poor old Astroplane's a bit plain, to be quite honest, story of my life. But yes, so there's Blitzwing. He's just brilliant as well. Starscream, Blitzwing is definitely the star of the set. He really is. The colours and that are just beautiful. Blitzwing, Astrotrain, at least he hasn't got the silly siege damage and stuff like that. You know, but he's okay. And there they are there. Oh, I went too far. I'm going to have to skip past this. So last weekend, and the weekend before was at Sandine, but last weekend I was at MCM, London, and I went for an epic journey. And it's funny because the first thing I bought was the triple takeover box, this huge big box. And I said to Nick, I went, well, after Nick had opened up the box and I was able to inspect it with my magnifying glass and Mayline providing light, I could see Mayline's face dying inside, and I could look at Nick, he was dying as well. But after 10 minutes, I fully inspected it, and I decided to take the box, and Nick was really busy, so he couldn't keep the box behind the counter. But I said, that's okay, Mayline can carry it. And so she was like,
what a gent.
Oh, she was a trooper. The best pack
She's a
mule
lucky,
ever.
lucky girl.
Yes. So that was a
mule
base. Yeah. Well, I mean, top awards. I gave her 5 out of 5 that week, because me and the cat always give her a score at the end of the week of how she's performed.
Cat.
Yeah. Well, the cat's Pepper.
Hierarchy in your house. Mailing the cat you, or is it you mailing you the cat?
I also picked up Ramjet, and I took some more photos of MCM. There you've got your sort of Optimus Prime, Star Convoy. And there's like some of the stuff from In Demand Toys. They had lots of stuff on offer and that. I was really tempted with the self-transforming stand Optimus Prime thing, but that was like 200 quid. But Maylin was very skeptical, so she said no. There's some more stuff.
Didn't have enough hand space to carry it. Enough.
Yeah. And we did the alien thing as well, which was quite good. That was quite good fun. But yeah, it was just like, just picking up stuff. There's Maylin holding a big sword. She's used to that, plenty of experience. Yeah, so it was a good time. Certainly not you, Pete.
That's an excellent question.
Now Maylin's character.
I got some stuff from Sam, some blocky stands, so that's pretty awesome. I got some Gundam thing, building model kits because I'm.
Is that your first one?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
cool. I'd be interested to see what you think. I really enjoyed them.
I don't mind it. I've already built like the chest and the head and stuff like that. It's a lot smaller parts and stuff, but it's quite cool. I've got a Chase Grimlock from Moth, so that was superb. Moth also gave me a big huge poster thing signed by Simon Foreman from the first story he did, so that's pretty decent. Dodge, which you've already seen, I'll put that down there. The star, the thing, Rodimus Prime with the wonderful head sculpt, new head sculpt.
Nice.
Yep, I just love that.
Was it quite easy to fit?
Yes, incredibly easy and incredibly easy to take off as well because it's a screw on the back of his head, So yeah, but I managed to pick up a spare one at Sandown for I knocked it down, priced down to about 55, fully complete. I got some Defender blockies. We could always do with more blockies. Haven't opened it yet, and Transformers 1 blockies.
Nick's
So
a
I've
big
got some-
fan of blockies.
Yeah,
You can't stop going on about how much he loves them.
and
Every week
this
he's
is
more blockies, please.
this is quite heavy. I've got this, which if it's successful, I might actually buy a set for Maylin.
Oh, did Sam build that?
Yes, this is the exact same one. It sounds
really good.
Yeah, so Lemmy bricks, and I think Sam took a month to build his.
I just can't have. It's against my religion to have non-Lego parts in the house. I can't have it infect my. But that one sorely tempts me. It's that and using toilets outside of my house. It's my religion. I can't compromise on.
Yeah, they're connected. I feel. Yeah,
TFN must be really tricky for you.
Oh, it is. I only go for an hour.
He's late every day because he's driving back.
Yeah, we go with his Paul driving back. But yeah, I think that's all I've picked up this week. So over 2 weeks actually. Yeah.
Cool. I'll go next if that's all right. Some really cool stuff. So I'll do one Transformers, one not Transformers. So the first two come together. I really have always liked Blades. But I've never owned a Masterpiece Blades. This week-ish, this last 2 weeks, I was off last week, I got two. So I've got the Ocular Max one. So he's one which is all combined, like the hands in there and everything. And I got this, I think it's Generation Toys one, Katana, which is a really cool. And I've wanted him for ages. I don't know which one I like the best. They're both really good. I'm going to keep them both. I find Defender a bit boring, so I might not get any of the others. But I think if I had to choose one, if I was forced, I'd probably choose the Octo Max one because it's an all right transformation. Apparently, it's the hardest of all of them to transform. I didn't find it too bad, but just a really good alt mode, and then even better robot mode. The Generation Toys 1 Katana, the alt mode on that is sublime. So much detail. It's probably just a little bit over stylized for me. I'm going to do comments at the same time. I've done that comment, so didn't succeed at that. Volkswagen Paul's been mostly playing with blades. I have.
I'll do comments.
Thank you, sir. Let me take that comment off then. Also got DX9 Sideswipe, which I wasn't going to get, and you know like how much I love a Sideswipe. But then Pete said he's really good, so that just made me buy him, and I've got him now.
That's all it took.
Yeah, easily led.
Pete, can you get at TFN? Can you get Paul to walk to my table and just like say every single thing?
Consider it done, David. Consider it done.
Lisa, we need to remortgage the house. I've bought all the art. So I got him, and like his, I've got MP Sideswipe, but his alt mode's like just next level. The only thing is, like, because it's see-through, you can see like how everything's compacted in his mirror when he's in his alt mode. It would kind of it might look better if it wasn't see-through and the windscreen mirror was actually, I don't know, all blue or something. But still, amazing figure. Then I got last 2 bits. I got one of the most boring starships ever, the USS Farragut, which is my 3rd Van Home one. Still waiting for them to do something exciting. But then this, from the other side of the sci-fi universe. Look how big this is. This is the Ghost ship with 2 Y-wings in the battle pack, which I kind of lost track of this. I think it came out in Walmart. And everyone was trying to get one, and the prices went sky high. And then, like many things, I forgot about it. I forgot about other things. And then I was in Forbidden Planet, and they had it for £100. And Lisa gets
around the outside because it's so big.
I'm going to take a picture later of where Lisa's put Unicron. It's not a sexy thing.
Wow.
That's going in the private chat, is it?
The show stepped up.
By the wheelie
transforms the show. So
with those pincers. Anyway.
Unicron obviously takes up a lot of room because mine's still in its box, and he got moved upstairs into the bedroom just in the middle of the floor. And Lisa started putting stuff on top of it, which was really annoying.
It's a table.
Yeah, it's a table. So she's put it on next to my bed and put the lamp on top of Unicron, which means I have to like reach 4 foot into the air to turn my lamp on and off.
Looks like a light.
It is.
That is some passive aggressive stuff, right?
Yeah. But yeah,
You
that's
want the
my
toy?
problem.
You can have the toy.
You can reach for it. I don't know where to put it. Can't fit in here. I can't set it,
Star Wars
obviously.
set is awesome.
Yeah, beautiful.
I am quite jealous.
And the Micro Galaxy stuff, like, it's all amazing. I've got the kids, a lot of it. Yeah, that particularly cool. David, sorry to go. Have you picked anything up recently?
I've literally just got one thing, which we're going to go slightly on brand for me. I got the Volume 3 trade paperback of the Skybound thing, which is a mixture of. It does have the bad side of starting with the awful Starscream prequel issues, which were very bad. But then it does pick up, and the rest of the artwork's very nice as well.
That's an awesome pickup.
We're going to have David like slagging off some other art.
No. It was the story.
They should have hired me.
It was the story that did it for me. It was. Do any of you read the story, the Skybound stuff?
Jamie,
I can read. Yeah.
No, but you read the stories.
I was really enjoying it until there's a prequel thing with like Starscream and this new character.
I've got all the comics so far.
Oh, nice.
I've not read any.
I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
I keep
I've read it, David.
Spoilers for about issue 17.
I agree, David. I've read it. I agree.
I don't know. I put my hand on top of the cover to see if it's ready yet to read, and I'm not feeling it yet.
Getting bad vibes.
Yes.
Bad juju.
It's
here.
Dom. That's Dom the
This must be
story.
the Starscream prequel story.
Ironically, I've been reading the Thundercats, which is really good, and I've been enjoying that. You know, because we both launched at the same time, and I thought, and I was collecting the Transformers, and I get the Thundercats. And for some reason, I've been reading the Thundercats.
Anyway.
Right, Andy, what do you think of this week, sir?
So I haven't got much at all, but today I had to take the wife to the hospital for an appointment that she had, and we discovered that just down the road from the hospital was a comic book shop in Darlington that we didn't know existed. So I took my daughter for a walk down to it, and she got a lovely book from the guy who run it. The comic book shop is called The Darl Knight. As in Darlington, the Darl Knight. And he's a lovely guy called Steve. I'm sure it was Steve. Just to figure it out, Pete, because, for the low IQ people. Anyway, I nearly bought some of the new comic books. I haven't got any of them yet, and I thought I really need to read these. There's so many people who said how good they were, but instead I started going through all the old issues, and I saw one that I wanted simply because of the cover. I've no idea if it's any good. It's probably rubbish, but I love the cover on that one with Sentinel Prime, so I bought that. And then I was going to again get I thought I'll get the first issue of the new ones, and but then I was still leafing through, and instead I thought, oh no, I'll buy this instead, which I've literally only bought for the cover, which is the cover.
It's a good cover.
Trigger Happy and Quake, I think it is, Fangry and Frenzy and Rumble. Take your pick as to which one's which.
You'd be surprised, but I actually read that last run from IDW.
Yeah,
and what it's. I'm a bit unfair and critical of the story because I just think it took such a long time for the story to set and start up. When you've got big, massive robots, you just want action and then start to slow things down,
Wasn't
get that
that
tempo.
Quite a widespread criticism of it, that it's concentrated too much on the political storytelling.
He was world building. And then he realised it was ending, so suddenly it was all tempo, and that was actually quite
all the
cool.
fighting in.
Yeah.
Anyway,
kill them all. Yeah.
Literally bought for the covers because I love these. I will give them a read, but then I feel like I'll have to buy all the other ones so the story makes sense. And then in the end, that means I've got to buy about 200 comic books to catch up.
Don't! I've got them. You can have them.
Really? Well,
Yes.
I'll borrow them, but I will give them back to you because I don't want to take them off you. I've got your collection.
Don't buy them.
But yeah.
Don't buy them. Don't buy them. I've got.
That's literally how much of a sucker I am, though. This will happen with your art when I see you at TFN Day. You'll have a picture of
How much of a sucker I am.
Stick
I'll buy your
double
art.
dealer. Stick double dealer on something, and I'll probably buy it. Definitely. All those
He's a
things.
schmuck, David. He's a schmuck.
It's an old
I'm an
double
absolute
dealer.
mark. I'm an absolute mark, Dave. There'll be me and Paul there, spending all of our money.
Yeah, but Pete's just going to be convincing Paul to buy everything.
Yeah.
And he'll be doing
That's
tricks
everything I
just to pay for all the artwork he's buying.
I mean,
Right,
I'll use
Mr.
money.
Pete,
I
what
don't-
do you get this week?
Oh no, I won't use money at the bar. I'm not changing the habit of a lifetime. Sorry, Pete.
I didn't get anything.
You got love, Pete. You got love. That's
So
what-
generally, I
community.
picked up some weights. I got a couple of cans of
here
beer
we
for
go.
tonight, and that's it.
No.
No,
Look on the
Henry.
guns.
I mean, look. I mean, you might be able to tell, you might not. I've got lots of stuff en route, but none of it was here in time for the show. Sadly.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all, mate.
Ah, so you didn't get much like me this week then, Pete. So that's okay.
No, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, should we move on to then? The most traumatic moments in Transformers history.
Lynn, these are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
16 centimeters is 6.29 inches. Just looked it up. We were talking earlier. Probably forgotten about that. Probably should have done it at the time when you were asking what 16 centimeters is. It's come up on the tab when I went to look for something else. So there you go. Tonight, so there is many a traumatic episode, issue, or part of Transformers over the years, all the way up into Bayverse. So tonight we're going to do our top 5 in a discussion which was chosen by David Cousens. So thank you, Dave, for choosing that. This brought back some memories, a bit of trauma. But yeah,
I was going. Should I qualify why I picked this subject?
Because you're dark.
Yeah, because I'm twisted. No,
yes.
I was.
You knew it called it.
I mean, come on. I was speaking to our mutual friend Luke and Monk on Twitter, and he was showing comics he picked up this week. And he picked up, we're talking kind of 30, 40 years old, thing called When the Wind Blows, which was drawn by the same person who drew Fungus the Bogeyman. And so Fungus the Bogeyman, for those who don't know, it was a kind of cartoony comic strip. It was nice, fun, lighthearted. This artist traumatized a whole generation of us because he made this thing called When the Wind, either When the Wind or When the Whistle Blows. I think it's When the Wind. Basically, it was drawn in the exact same style, but it was about an old couple who were near a nuclear fallout blast.
Yeah.
And they stay in their house and they gradually just fall apart. And it's absolutely horrible. And I was like, oh my God, I was about 6 when I saw this. And so we joked about the various traumatic things in our childhood. And he instantly said, oh yeah, and of course there was that annual of the Dinobots. And I instantly knew what he was talking about. And so yeah, when I was asked for questions, I suddenly thought there were so many traumatic things in Transformers, which we were just not prepared for and allowed to see and read as kids.
Oh, 100%. I think it was it's a much underused thing. I think I remember reading, listening to Simon Furman saying the other day, like the UK one, they weren't as strict on the comics, so they were able to get away with a little bit more because they weren't watching them at the time, and some of the stuff they put out was like insane. I remember it.
They got away with loads.
Yeah. And I think it was RoboCop. Didn't he do RoboCop as well? He was saying like, and then they really didn't care because I think like they were doing some really dodgy stuff on there, like releasing it. Not dodgy.
The movie was.
Yeah. Right. So traumatic moments. Top 5. Andy, you're in the center of my screen. Can I start with you? What was
I was going to go last.
No props at all. Just change it. Let's go to Jamie. Jamie, did you have a position you wanted to come in? So far, Jamie went, I want to go third, actually. I'll just fucking choose your own ones.
I'm happy to go.
Oh, thank you, Jamie.
So, as David was just talking about
There we go, that's the one.
Well, it was after the Dino Hunt, wasn't it? It was this story appeared when they sort of like, what were the Dinobots dreaming about? And the story was republished again in the annual, which I think a lot of people remembered it for in the annual. And it was just, you think about Grimlock getting a cannon shoved into his mouth and blowing up and stuff. But this thing, I think, was, I don't know if it was because I'm Glaswegian, and I was used to walking around the housing estate with 2 toy pedos. But when I first saw this, I just went, it was okay. But then you go back to study the comics because you had these comics for like 2 weeks and you studied them, you drew them, you traced them, you did it. And then you started thinking, that's actually kind of horrific. I just thinking, she's just ripping off her face and then blasting pure sludge. And that was the reporter. And she actually survived because I was never really sure if she sort of died and stuff like that. But yeah, it was just like a sort of like, no, because I think the thing is with your parents, like you think about talking about that animation when the wind blows. There was another animation about 2 dogs escaping from a laboratory, and I think parents were good. You just used to buying an animated cartoon from a video store, putting it in front of their kids, having no idea what this film was actually about, and just horrifying kids, and I never minded the actual 80 films which were made for kids traumatizing you, but then you had these films which are purely for adults really traumatizing you. And I think, we can't mention traumatic events without thinking about, Transformers the movie and the introduction of Wheelie, which I think it needs a new name. It's like a long-term trauma that just sneaks up on you. Because as a kid, you're kind of like, well, what's this character? Oh, he's got a funny little... It gets kind of annoying and it starts to build up. And then, you hit 40 and you need to keep your lights on as you go to sleep at night because you're thinking about this character. And it's just truly, truly awful thing. it's the toy as well. I mean, everything's traumatic about him, isn't it? You know, I used to fantasize him just getting killed by Alpha Trion, like Alpha Trion just murders him, and everyone's happy, and that's the story. And really, and with like a monologue at the end, really doesn't come back, and that's it. Because the toys are epic. What's that?
Sorry, I said, how cathartic was this photo shoot for you?
Oh, it was awesome, especially the ripping apart part. It's like, but I wanted the original G1 toy, but I don't know if you can approach the original G1 toy unless you're holding a crucifix or something holy just to protect you, because that do you know what the G1 toy reminds me of? There was another film which my mum got me when I was a kid. I must have been 6 or 7, sort of like older siblings. And it's like killer clowns from space. And they used to make people into like these sort of like, I don't know, gelatinous jelly-like thing. And then they'd put a straw in and just suck them dry. And I think my mum must have thought this would be a good film for kids because it has clowns and clowns are okay. You're just like, every time I saw Wheelie, it reminded me of these, killer clowns. And so I was like, oh yeah, not a good time. For me, that's me finished, Paul.
Shit. It's Paul going to choose Siege Apex. Oh, don't talk about it. Let's go saying Watership Down. Watership Down was crazy, wasn't it? Like,
that was
that made you cry, though, because I always love that. I always love that scene when the good rabbit who's been fighting the bad ones and he's getting battered, and they say, they presume he's the leader, and he says, "No, I'm just one of the troops." He was obviously lying; he was the leader, but he just wanted to scare them to make them think, "If I'm just one of the troops, you don't know how bad the other guys are." Yeah. And I always thought that was quite a cool scene.
The toxic waste bloke from RoboCop, yeah, that was bad. Charlie, the baby.
Just doing traumatic things. The relive of Transformers.
None of us could be watching RoboCop. I mean, Watership Down's different. That was advertised as a kids' film. But RoboCop, yes, I agree, Ed. I did see it as a child. But that's not the point. We shouldn't have.
American Tail.
Nice for it.
Yeah, I mean, Princess Diana died
Land Before Time.
Land Before Time. Oh, now you just want to make us cry. What is this?
Right, I'll go next. So there was only one for me, which was it was traumatic, but it kind of
plane crash in Emmerdale.
Why?
All dogs go to heaven.
Why do these things?
Oh, that I agree that one. Oh god,
especially when you know the story of what happened to the child.
Oh yeah.
It's heartbreaking.
And then the voice actors trying to do the scene and they're coughing up.
Let's go. So oh no, it wasn't that. That was last week. That was our weirdest crush. What she did? Amazing. That was quite traumatic. Right. For me, it was obviously only going to be one thing ever. And growing up as a kid, I used to love Transformers. And one of the things I loved was reading the Marvel UK comics. Was when you had those traumatic. I remember reading like this one I'm going to go into again and again. And I used to find the comics, and that would happen. And then I got to 2000 AD, and I was like, oh my god, this is even gorier, and there's even more disgusting stuff in here. And that really loved it, and Judge Dredd and stuff. And you sort of, as a kid, you just love things like that, so things you never get to see. And this was probably the first time where I went, wow, that's really wrong, but I really like it. And it was, of course, Impactor being absolutely blown to parts, so that half his robot face gets absolutely blown off. And I don't know, as a kid, just seeing that happen, like, it's not a pew-pew shooting like when you see it in the Transformers in the normal cartoon, where they just get shot a little bit. They do all the detail amazingly, and how all the wires and bits are sticking out, and half his eyes falling off. So and good. That, yeah, it was so good, and the art was amazing. And like Impact and Emirates Iron have stuck with me this whole time in my mind in this Transformers universe. But yeah, that was it. Now, I thought that was traumatic, and then the writers must have thought, how do we take that up, like up a notch? They just went for this zombie Impactor, who's still got. And I remember reading as a kid going, I remember reading that issue where he got his face blown off, and this all relates, and I can see this, and it was horrible. And it's that thing about, and it's the thing which like a lot of us hate in zombie films and zombie programs and Living Dead, is when it's someone you know and you love who becomes this horrible thing, and you have to kill them. I remember Springer like not being able to shoot him, like he can't per impact, and it really there's a juxtaposition in my head where he's such a horrible zombie coming to kill him, but he can't do it because it was his friend that he's known for ages. And it really jars in your brain, like as a kid, and it's still to this day. Like when I see zombie films like that, that emotion flashes up in my mind. But to see that and to see him coming back through as an absolute zombie was so insane as a kid. I can't believe it. They've done it. But yeah, that was my choice. Really traumatic.
I love that phrase. Absolute zombie, not just a zombie, but absolute.
He seems to have actually started to rot away because he did get injured. Most of the injury was the top of his head and maybe like the right hand side of his shoulder. But you actually look at him, he's started to decompose. They really ramped up the whole zombie element of it. It was really cool.
It was horrible because he was slightly self-aware.
Yeah. In the end,
in the end, he kind of overrun. But it's just that whole thought of.
What was he thinking about?
The funny thing is that I was actually going to say this as my moment as well. So it's
Oh, sorry.
No. It's fine. I've got others. That's fine.
No discounts for you, Paul.
Yeah, it was. It was the fact that Impactor had been like a proper character. Yeah. It wasn't just like a random one who'd been off. He'd been in there for I don't know how long. It had felt like he'd been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And then to have him come back and just like Springer couldn't stop him. It was amazing.
But he hadn't really been there that long, had he? Because wasn't that the end of the Target 2006 arc? So you felt like he'd been there for ages.
They fleshed him out.
And then he saves Sauron by pushing him out the way, and he takes the blast from the sniper, the Decepticon sniper, at the end of that. And it was such a weird way from because he seemed like such a flipping cool character. He was just this badass leader of that group, the Wreckers. And then
he'd understand.
Kill him off. I know he was never going to be a toy. He was a comic-only character, but still.
I could understand, though, why you'd think it was a long-established character, because you just read those stories again and again in the artwork. And the Wreckers have been immortalised, really, even before IDW done them again in Impact through toys, third-party companies. And that story just, Paul said and David said, it's there. It's set. Everyone's read about it. Two progenitors of the Transformers fandom know about that story.
Yeah,
and that the art, like, and they hint like, what resonates is like they give him a rib cage, like, and Transformers don't have rib cages, but in the zombie form, it has got like these things which form rib cage, and you're like, oh, it's almost like subtly inside you're like, oh, that's like a human, but you don't know
that
it.
Was why they were clever. That was why they were clever, wasn't it? That they managed to do things with the art because it was a robot, so you can draw it gory, but it's not gory because it's a robot, so it hasn't all the blood and stuff. It's drawn to make it look more human, and that's why we relate to it. Look and go, oh shit, that's horrible.
What?
Oh, it was a shit. We can get away with it.
Again, double barrel. What was he saying, which was made them sort of self-aware? Was he like, let's switch off the
Wasn't
lights?
He trying to kill?
I don't know.
Wasn't he trying to kill Springer in the end, and kind of Springer just kind of appealed to him? It wasn't on the front cover as well.
I remember he sacrificed himself in the end. Enough of his programming came back that he took himself out. But...
so it's like a dark awakening, like in. There
was a scientist that was basically using some kind of radio control to bring a flame. That was it, and he was bringing all the corpses up. But obviously, Impactor was a fresh corpse and much more. I was going to say impactful than the others. that's so annoying. Yeah. But okay. Well, I don't have a thing for it, but staying with the UK comics, I'll segue into my one. Which after the Impactor one was when Megatron and Ratchet got fused together in a transporter like the Fly, and then their kind of weird shambling horror came out of the thing, and they were just like, help us. And the moment for me as a kid was when they pulled, I think it's Optimus Prime, like they pulled the gun to their own head and said please, and it was like, oh my god, it's like
that was well heavy.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember the original comic? They gave away, which was almost like you'd been in a photo booth together. So you had.
I still have it. I literally I've got the that free gift of the photo because I wanted to throw it away and I couldn't because I was so scared of it. I had to keep looking at the damn thing. And my wife literally last year found it in my stuff. She went,
yeah.
I was like, oh my god,
it's so awesome, isn't it? It's so horrific.
It's so good. I actually bought, Simon Furman sells a print, and I actually bought it for him last year because the first time I met Simon Furman properly. And I can say, like, you really traumatized me with this, and so I need to buy it.
Own it. It's like the book from the Evil Dead. If you own it, it can't traumatize you anymore.
But I know where it is now. It's locked away.
Yeah. Oh, that was horrific. And I think I missed it as a kid, and kind of like I caught up on it later in the 90s. Like, fuck, so much darkness. Like,
oh, it's really it was full of horror. It literally introduced me to body horror. That
the idea now that David is the keeper of the Necronomicon, we must protect it. Cannot fall into the wrong hands. Anyway, good to know.
Right, cool, Pete. How have you been traumatized, specifically with Transformers?
Could you share my photos, mate, please?
Of course I can.
I've gone for an absolutely horrific.
Oh yeah.
Season 3 episode, Dark, the Dark Awakening. Just when the globe was just getting over the death of Optimus Prime, Hasbro had one last laugh left in them, where they wanted to bring him back as a zombie, just to traumatize kids even further. And I thought this episode was horrific.
It was.
I've maybe watched it twice in nearly 40 years. I still won't watch it now because I just think it's horrible. The idea that the writers thought it was great to take a 10-year-old kid to this mausoleum of all these dead all these dead Transformers that we've just seen horrifically killed in the Great Battle. And then they got
go there just to make sure Windcharger was still dead.
Yeah, exactly. and the rest. I just feel like they just had like one last laugh. It's like, we know we've got to bring him back. We know we're going to release new toys, but let's just traumatize some kids even further. And I just, even now, it's Daniel's scream when kind of the lights flash and he thinks he sees Optimus, but he's not sure. And he screams out. It's just horrific. However, this is obviously Ultra Magnus going, Prime, look, it wasn't my fault. I genuinely, I was watching a monitor, the shuttle slipped past. I'm sorry. All right. Everyone blames Hot Rod. It's not his fault. But it was just, no. A zombie Optimus Prime, where they're just sitting in the writer's room going, do you know what they'll love? Do you know what they'll actually love? If we bring Optimus Prime back trying to kill the Autobots. I just, for me, it was just a horrific episode, and I'll never ever watch it. And then to top it all off, they killed him again.
Yeah.
It's like they weren't happy with killing him once, they killed him twice.
Did you see this as a kid then? When you were little?
Yeah.
See, I never saw this as a kid, so this doesn't traumatize. It just now.
I remember this one. It was again. It followed in the same thing as Impactor. They programmed him to betray and destroy the Autobots, and so again, he kind of his good nature came through, and he ended up sacrificing himself because that's what he does. But
spoilers, he doesn't.
Or does he? Oh yeah. It's been 40 years, people. You should have watched it by now.
It's like, but then they blow the shuttle to smithereens. So there's nothing left of Optimus Prime. Yet how do they rebuild? I don't know.
No, it didn't. That was just exhaust going off at the back. Oh, you poor person.
It's science, baby.
Yeah. So for me, Dark Awakening, and it's probably worth saying, Dave Wallace from TFN does a wicked video on why he loves it, and he goes into a massive amount of detail how horrific it is. But that is my most traumatic instance.
That's very traumatic. There's a lot of them. Andy, are you ready?
Yeah, if you could just share the picture. Right, strap in. Not strap on, strap in. Because I've gone rogue slightly. I knew you guys were going to pick most of the things that I would have picked, and you have. And I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, or at least I didn't think I would. So I kind of went a bit rogue, and because I couldn't really think of one moment that really traumatized me. I don't know if I'm just desensitized to all the violence and hate in the world, but I picked several. So I'm just going to quickly show the pictures instead of spending 15 minutes talking about one. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the death of Kranix in Transformers the movie. Because again, we sat there in the cinema. We'd already seen his planet destroyed and eaten in the first 2 minutes. We'd seen the death of Optimus Prime and so many of our childhood favorites. If that wasn't shocking enough, we then saw Kranix dropped, unjustly it seemed, into a pool full of Sharkticons, who then rip him to pieces and eat him while we hear his screams, his horrifying scream, ring out in Dolby surround sound or whatever they had in the cinema at that time. I can't remember. I was little. That stuck with me more than Optimus Prime actually dying. Optimus Prime dying was a bit like, oh, but like that was like, what the hell? So that's my first one. This in the comic books, I think, was this Time Wars? I think it was when Cyclonus was killed by, spoilers, if you haven't read it yet, or is he? Yes, he is. Look at the picture. He's frigging dead. See, didn't swear again. And Cyclonus not just being dead, because I mean the way he dies is pretty horrific. As essentially mind control Megatron rips his head off. I mean, that was a bit of a shock when I read it, but also his then dismembered body just strung up in Shockwave's palace, like, you know, a bit of artwork on the wall. He should have gone to you, David, and got some nice pieces. But instead, he put that up there because he'd lost his mind. So that was another one that made me just kind of go, what the heck is going on? This one was traumatic because I loved Scorponok. And I was so happy when my evil Decepticon buddy had become this hero fighting Unicron and really going for it. Although, if we look back, he decided to punch him in the foot. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he went out badly. I'm just saying maybe ripping a bit of his foot off.
So weird about that story is it doesn't feel like it was 35 years ago. It almost feels like it could have been last month. That must have been the last.
I read it recently, so it really does feel like it was last month for me. But it's the fact he melted him. Like, he melted him. And this, if you stop and think about it, everybody was like, "Oh, Scorponok. That's so sad. Look at, he's all melted." Zarak was inside there. So what the hell happened to him? Was he just all? It's horrific. It's like something from.
He was like a hamburger.
Yeah. And then
some tomato sauce would have been okay.
That last panel of Optimus Prime, somebody did a recent piece of. Was it who did that recent piece of artwork, like a kind of updated version of that scene of Optimus Prime? Was it the stop motion guy?
Someone did the animation, didn't he, when he was ripping through Unicorn's foot and he put the lasers down?
That stayed with me for so long because Scorponok was just one of my favorites, one of my favorite toys, and that traumatized me. Time Wars again, Galvatron being sucked into the time vortex, like literally piece by piece. Again, you couldn't get away with this with a comic where there were human characters, but robots, ripping to shreds. Let's have their eyeballs pulled out and their skulls contorted in pain. Yeah, it's fine. It's only kids. They won't be traumatized. But
again, it's that whole thing, isn't it, where they make them slightly human and it makes it more horrific.
Look, I mean, he's got a spine. He's basically got essentially a rib cage. He is. It was very clever the way they made them relatable because of their human facets to them.
There you go.
Has already been mentioned, but the moment when he puts when Optimus Prime is there and he can't put him down, and then the Mega Ratchet, whatever we call it, literally puts the gun to his forehead and says, "Please." Oh God, heartbreaking.
It's like even the eyeballs emerged.
Look at that!
That's so.
Oh my God! If you're a small child in the 80s.
I was.
We all were. Except for Pete, he was in his 30s. But the rest of us, we were all young children.
You've been kind, Pete, there. I still think the gift was amazing, though. Just so you can see it in his. Just like, oh my God.
I'm sorry, but if you're not traumatized by this face that Prowl pulls as he literally dies, as his insides burn and melt, then there is something seriously wrong with you, and you need to seek serious.
I have a theory. I think Prowl and Ratchet were still alive until Hot Rods blasted the shuttle and made sure they died.
I mean, that's a
think they
funny
may have
way of
survived.
looking at it, but looking at what's happening there,
I
I'd be
mean,
very
Ironhide
surprised.
survived, didn't he? Ironhide survived, so they may have just had a little bit of spark left.
They're all, there you go, they're all dead. Anyway, so the Prowl one, that one in particular, I know the other ones got blasted, but like the fact that Prowl burned from the inside and that look on it, look at the look on his face. Look, burn it.
We've
into
all
your
had a
brain.
hot curry. We've survived that.
When the Vindaloo kicks in. Oh, anyway, and then the last one, a more recent one from the IDW comics. This is a bit of a spoiler if you haven't read these. Got a tough luck watching this now. What do you want? So, just a very brief synopsis of this was that Tarn was kind of the warden of the prison that Skids was in. He convinced him to help create what he was told was going to be like a teleporter, so that the prisoners could be teleported to basically a nicer prison. And Skids works on this. He fixes it all, makes it all work. They put all of his best mates from the prison into it, and they're all so happy. And it turns out it's a smelting chamber, and they are all melted down alive, as you can see down here in the panel below. Let's just close in so we can look at the horror.
No, we don't need to see this.
And that was part of a brilliant backstory for Skids, where he couldn't remember anything, and it was because he had, if I remember correctly, he essentially had his mind wiped because he didn't want to remember, because he blamed himself, obviously. So yeah, basically this is all trauma, and I don't know why we like this Transformers. It's just this.
I have a question. You've read the story. How could Skid get confused between a teleporter and a smelting pot?
Because plot hole, comic writing, it was the thing. It was just, it's just the way it was. You'd have thought the Autobot shuttle would have some kind of code it has to send as it flies in, but no, they just let it come in. Anyway. Also, plot hole, if you want to go Transformers the movie plot holes, Hot Rod, wrist blasters, takes out an entire flipping shuttle. In that moment with Megatron, just shoot him in the face. You've got your arm pointing at his face. Just shoot him in the flipping face.
And make sure that Ratchet, Ron, and Power are dead.
Make sure kill them. Yeah. Secret.
I just want to mention this one, the one where they take his head comes up a lot for Transformer Optimus Prime, doesn't he? There's a lot of him not having his head and people doing things with his head. But there was another episode as well which used to traumatize me of Marvel G1 where. Was it the video game one where they had his head plugged in? All these things coming from Optimus Prime's head. Yeah,
because he ends up killing himself because he killed a load of NPCs.
Because he's an idiot.
That's it.
He's an
Well, he
idiot.
doesn't kill himself, does he? He tells the programmer bloke who was running the whole thing that he has to do it, and he
press
does.
the button.
And he downloaded his entire
Onto the
personality
floppy disk.
memories onto a floppy disk. And how much data could they hold back in the day?
But the guy could have just done it to Megatron. He could have just pressed the button and Megatron went, no, Optimus.
What's the worst going to happen? Optimus Prime's going to be really upset with him. He's not going to kill him. Boom, Megatron's dead. War's over, people. Go home. Anyway,
I've saved everyone. But no, he didn't, did he? Because he's an idiot. They're both idiots.
Feel this trauma
that Optimus Prime picture you showed when his head was off. Wasn't that the story where Shockwave also had all the other Autobots that had fallen strung up from the ceiling, hanging by the legs? Which reminded me later in years when Predator.
That was a creation Matrix thing.
Yeah,
Ethan Zachary, Bolt said.
There he is. He's the programmer guy. He is.
Right, brilliant. So I think it's now time for Peter Social
Corner.
What interest should we play tonight for Social Corner?
Do the proper one. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, man up.
Which one's the proper one? I could do with the team.
The one we showed.
The traumatic one.
The haunting one.
My Amish friends call me Lorna. I'm coming out of the fauna. If my cat died, I would mourn her. It's time for Social Corner.
The only way that could be better if you'd let the camera just hit you in the face and go, oh. That would have been peak. That would have been the ending.
That video is my most traumatic episode of Transformers the Show.
It went down so well at TFUK Con, though. It really did.
It was medium funny. Pete.
can you please share? Here's Lily with sea spray under the water. What a
Under the
quality
sea.
picture! Look at it. He's managed to get the bubbles in there. I mean, he's breathing. Let's not get into plot holes and whether Transformers need to breathe, but an exceptional photo. Toy box, soapbox again. He's a scamp with a camera, and hey, this time mixing and blending Masters of the Universe and Power of the Primes, Prima Donna. He is a lovely toy, and if you don't have it, Liam's photos will make you want to buy it. NTN Arts, one Optimus Prime from TF1.
I like the fact that NTN Arts did a live stream and they were talking about this toy, and then I think it was while the live stream was on, they were also drawing the toy, and this is the artwork that comes out of it at the end of it, which I thought was quite a nice way of doing it. You do a live stream, you have your friends and fans, whatever, chatting to you while you're there drawing whatever it is that, you know.
David, do you ever, when we look at this stuff, we always feel admiration, but do you look at this stuff and go, done better?
The critical eye.
Oh man,
it's okay.
I'm a supporter of anybody who's making artwork that's not AI. So yeah, no, it's great stuff. It's always very nice to see people's creativity.
Excellent answer. Excellent
There you
answer.
go. That was
David.
Thank God Transformers the show hasn't used the AI for anything like the theme tune.
Yeah, I did not go well.
It's really good though. It's a really good theme tune.
And it's shit. He's gone rogue, Paul.
You think people think we played these? Yeah, we just got together and jam.
It's us.
Not that one,
Actually, I have tasked me Lynn to write an original song.
Have you? Well, as well as carrying everything. Here's a pad and a pen.
Yes.
No excuses.
Dire Brave Sid from Blue Sky, The Empire Strikes Black. As Lily will tell you, you can't go wrong with a black Prime, nor other black Transformers by looks.
Unless it's a dark room, then you can't see it, so it's pointless.
Yeah,
Think about
I mean,
these
there
things.
are nuances, Jamie. Yeah, I agreed.
Yeah. Oversight.
Yeah.
Chris, what? This is back to Marvel US, wasn't it? When Spider-Man made a very brief appearance in the Transformer comics, but
Reminds me of a photo somebody else once took.
In colour, yeah.
I wonder who that could have been, Jamie.
he's not allowed to be in social. He's a quality photo. I just like this one. I just saw it and I just liked it. For no other reason other than Alec, well played. Well played, sir.
Yeah, that's great, kill.
Friend of the show, Chronicles of Cliffjumper, Ian, again with another photo with the spaghetti eating bludgeon.
I always like his stuff. I just look. He also does stop motion as well, and he's a lovely guy to chat to. I mean, he's big. Well, actually, he's taller than Pete. Most people are taller than Pete, to be fair, apart from me. But
Yeah, steady. People who live in glass houses.
God gifted me with good looks. That Pete says he's 6'2", but he's not really. I'm 5'2", and he's really taller than me. Yeah, he's brilliant, Cliffjumper.
Yes.
Wait.
All right.
Steady. Team Thunderclash, which is the group of artists that are putting together this year's Thunderclash comic in honor of Toy Fu and Mary's Meals and
raise money
and
for
raising.
Mary's Meals.
Yeah. Have put together a crest that will be available for purchase at TFN. Again, exceptional artwork.
Yeah, you saved me a job there because I was under orders that I had to promote them at some point on the stream.
You're very lucky that I decided to put this in the socials then, David, because I know it's coming on. But anyway, carry on.
No, because I was going to say because I've got a pin-up that's in there, and there's loads of good people there.
Of you or another character?
I'm just like,
there's swimming attire.
David, hang on.
Oh my God, it's not going to get your speedos on, is he? Oh, yes. Oh, which has been all over social media. The good, the bad, and the
oh, that's brilliant. That is one of my favorite covers. Obviously, like, it's not identical to cover, but it's like, you know, the homage, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yes. And I just love that. When I saw that, I was quite excited. When I saw that on Twitter and stuff like that. You know, then I remember 2 hours later to go back and retweet it. You know, that's really good. It's just like, but yeah, David, are you hiding from someone? Because I noticed the room's got really dark.
No, it's just it's just got dark outside, and when I turned the light on, I didn't like the way the light was bouncing off my nose, so I turned it back off. Sorry, that's.
I mean, you can't argue with the honesty.
I wasn't expecting an honest answer. I was expecting something. I am.
And he's livid. And he's livid with the excuse you've given, so he's gone. Drinking about robots with another great Prima picture. This time with the Star
The guy's
Saber
amazing with special effects, isn't he?
Yeah,
yeah.
It adds it. It gives it so much character.
You should check his Instagram account. I'm drinking rewards. He's got this cool image of like Nemesis and Optimus Prime. Brilliant. Just superb.
This is Steve Cook, SDC, Mr. Jazz from. It was a week of Prima Prime. A lot of people must have got him. The artwork. It's
very good.
There are some. And David, you'll know this. There are some exceptionally talented people in this fandom, and I think we're very blessed. And we could have a 2-hour show on showcasing the artwork we see. And Dribble Toy takeovers.
It's Liam's, wasn't it?
I think it's
got 6. So yeah, it's got, but just showing how wicked. Micromasters were in Countdown,
and they still are.
Ultimate base.
I'm questioning this, and I sent this in. I'm the one who posted this in the socials group, didn't I? I forgot who it was.
Andy took some photos of his Micromaster set, the Sky Stalker or something, and it just reminded, because I've got all the Micromasters, and I just was looking at it and I went, I need to do some photos of Micromasters because it's been a long time, and they're just my favorite part of the G1 toy line. Yeah,
what I love about doing those Micromaster photos, they look like we used to look at the old Argos catalogue and you'd see the Transformers. See like all positioned out like 6-0, and you, Jamie, and Liam like replicate that so well. Cool. Okay. Andy said his audio just gone. His mic's not working, so he's gone to fix it. So we're going to slide into the discussion. Let's do it.
We now return to the Transformers.
2 discussions tonight. It's a doubler. So we're first of all going to catch up with David and the work you've been doing with Thunder Clash. And if you've got any questions for David, just stick them into the chat. I know my co-hosts have some questions they want to ask you, if that's all right. And also your suggestion for the discussion, which was which Transformer you most felt represented you as a kid. When you're a kid, who did you most want to be? And which Transformer represents you now as you're older? So can we start off with you, David? You're right to give us an update with how you're getting on with. So we've got the Thunder Clash work which is going on. How are you getting on with that, and how people can contribute towards that as well?
Yeah, it's going very, very well. It's currently in its final stages. Actually, all the artwork's been coming in. We've got a private Discord, and I've been watching everybody's stuff turn up. And like we've gone for like loads of line work has been coloured now. Stuff's like approaching like the lettering phase, and there's some amazing stuff. It's I mean, it was funny because I did the cover for the last 2 years, but then Joseph, the writer, he decided to take some few big swings, and he DM'd completely unprompted with no kind of expectation or anything, Don Figuera, and he said like, "Would you want to do something?" And then when the pinup came in, I was like, oh, "Do you know what? I'm going to be heroic now. I'm going to be heroic. I'm going to stand back from the cover," because originally we said I was going to do it again, because I mean, it's so good, and also it only felt fair because I kind of did that on the first issue. Like I kind of rocked up late. I was like, "Oh, here's a pin-up that I've done, which is very specifically designed to be a cover," and then everybody's like, "Oh, that's going to be a cover." And I'm like, yeah, I know. I planned it. Like everything, there was the space for like the bar.
You are hiding from someone, aren't you? Yeah.
but yeah, no. When Don's cover came in, I was like, that has to be the cover. I've got no problem kind of like stepping back. And there's so much good work. Like everybody on the issue this time around has really stepped up their game. And you can see, because there's a lot of returning artists from the first 2 issues. You won't find one of them that's still drawing or they're colouring to the same level that they are now. Like everything is improved, and everybody really cares, and everybody's really putting in loads of effort, and it's an absolutely lovely team. And even though I've only been kind of like just doing a pin-up this time around, I've still been hanging around, like chatting with everybody, giving feedback and stuff, because it's such a good group. So yeah, it should be very, very good when it comes out.
That must be cool having that Discord group where you're all in there looking at each other's artwork, going, "Oh, that bit looks good. Oh, have you thought about doing this and stuff?" That must be vibrant with people chatting.
It's good. Yeah, it's good fun. Like you can get like somebody will suddenly just share something like, "Oh, that's really good." Yeah. And I didn't actually say the word then. I just kind of said part of it. So that's I self-censored. It's fine.
Dropped a few F-bombs. It's fine.
To be quite honest, David, it's only been me and you we've held it high tonight. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Me and you, Jim.
We got some questions in the chat. So we got Pino Lee. David, do you prefer drawing mechanical or biological subjects?
Oh, do you know what? I'm much better naturally at drawing biological stuff, like humans and whatnot. But I forced myself a few years ago, because I love Transformers so much. I was like, I wanted to draw them. And I had this kind of feeling of this gulf between my ability and what I wanted to do. And I was like, fine, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to understand how mechanical stuff works. And I studied robots and stuff. And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I can now draw them. I didn't get to the point of this is the kind of obsession that sometimes comes with artists. I did a drawing of Bulkhead. I like my own take of Bulkhead from Transformers Animated, because I love the silhouette. It's really good. And I made this thing. Nobody's going to know it. It's for nobody's benefit other than mine. He technically would work as a robot. He's got like I thought about like his kind of fuel source. He's got heating vents. Like every possible thing you need on a device makes sense. And it's like, and I don't know why I spent so long doing it, but it's like, and so I've got this drawing, and he works. He works as a robot. There's no benefit to anybody.
But you
feel like you're screaming into the void.
Well, it was kind of as I did. I thought, why did I put so much effort into making sure it would technically work as a robot? But do you know what? It was really nice. There was one person who, unfortunately, kind of disappeared off the internet. She sent me a message, and she told me, it was so touching. She said that her best friend had unfortunately ended their own life, and they were like a massive Bulkhead fan, and she was grieving at the time. And she said for some reason that, like, she kind of clung on to that artwork, and then she followed my stuff for ages and was liking everything I was doing. And so, and she sent me a message saying that it really helped her through. And I was like, I don't know, I was just touched. It was like a wonderful thing to think that I helped somebody in that kind of situation, which was great.
Oh,
Because oftentimes I'm sat at home scribbling and don't think much of anything.
Yeah, it means so much to so many people, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
It's insane. We've got some more questions here, and I've got Andy's questions. I don't know where Andy's gone. He's got problems with Mike, but he did text me his questions. He backed it up, and that's the kind of organisational questioning I like, so we can ask them anyway. Toy Slice said, David, do you like colouring books? You can see the lines.
Do you know what? My very first professional work was colouring somebody else's line work. No, I like doing my own lines. I pay somebody if I'm working on like a large project, I will pay somebody to flat color the lines. I will do all the shading and choosing the colors and everything. But the flat coloring itself is so tedious, and it's not worth my time.
What's flat coloring?
It's okay, so my process would be first off, I'll draw the roughs normally on this screen here, and then nowadays I'll print them and I'll ink them with kind of pens or ink or whatever, and then I'll scan them back in. And so I just make sure my iMac's not turning itself off. To make the coloring easier. You kind of say if you're looking at me, you go right. Okay, this is all black. This is one color. This orange is another. Like skin color, like eyes, and so it makes it really easy to separate. So when you do shading digitally, you can select something and go, okay, I only want the shading to affect, say, like my skin, and so you can select it on one layer and then shade the stuff on a separate layer. But the flat coloring process itself is horribly, horribly tedious and long, and especially because over the last 3 years or so, my style's got increasingly kind of messy and gritty and kind of There's no easy way to color it, and it's a massive pain. So no, I don't enjoy that part of it, and I will often pay somebody else to do that part.
Could I be presumptuous and we invite you back on sometime, and you could go through the steps of your creative process, like slides? That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Thank you.
That's extremely presumptuous of you, Jamie.
I just wanted to use the big word this week. Presumptuous. Check that out.
Word of the week. Presumptuous. Look it up, kids. I can't speak. It doesn't matter.
I used juxtaposition earlier, and no one said anything.
Yeah, but we all know that one.
I was impressed.
Oh, thank you.
It was great.
I'll just start using random things the wrong way. Oh, Gordon Blue. Right.
Gordon Blue, indeed.
There's more questions. I think, Pete, Jamie, you had some questions as well. I've got them in the chat, but feel free to smash into them. I've got one. What was I thinking about? No, you asked your question first. I had a really good question, I promise. Pete, what did you want to ask?
How, now you've been, working in Transformers in terms of the artwork and stuff like that, how has it changed your relationship with Transformers and your love for it?
Do you know what? Actually, it's funny. When I was drawing that image I just shared now, the good, the bad, and the good, the mad, and the ugly. Literally, this morning, I got to a point when I was drawing Galvatron, and I'd kind of based it loosely off of the Jeff Senior version, but I'd also based both Rodimus and Death's Head are based on the film poster of the good, the bad, and the ugly. But the middle one, the bad guy who was Galvatron, just had this really kind of passive, like holding his gun thing. That's not Galvatron, so I thought I'd use the Jeff Senior version. So I kind of drew in the roughs based off of Jeff's. And I thought, do you know what, I'll sort it in inking. I'll kind of add all the details and add my own stuff to it. And that's when I realized this morning that Jeff Senior, bless him, clearly did not have reference for what Galvatron's supposed to look like and had fudged it. Because as I started to draw, I said, hold on, the shoulder thing's not there. And I was like, wait, and his chest doesn't stop. I was like, oh no. And so this morning I was like, oh, okay. And I had to go get my toy, my Kingdom Galvatron.
Articulated model.
Yeah. And again, I was like, that's what his head's supposed to. And so I was like changing it on the fly. And I've got a lot of respect for anybody who draws Transformers. Because there's so many, like this feeds back into my earlier answer for Lee. When you're drawing a person, we all share a lot of the same attributes. It is not too much of a stretch, and so you know what you can do. with Transformers, there's so many things which are like frustrating, like say Magnus's shoulder things,
Pylons.
or the Seeker's wings or their guns, and you have to think like, okay, where's the gun going? Is it going on the shoulder, which means they can do like a certain thing? Or I mean, even when I was drawing Rodimus, I ended up in that image, like you'll see it, I kind of slightly fudged it because his trailer section kind of stops. It goes right down to his waist. Which in a cartoon they kind of they cheat it and they like lean it around as if it moves, but it's got no ab crunch or proper swivel. And then when it's in a still illustration, it's like, okay, this is either going to like really straight lines that you draw like a ruler, or I'm going to have to change something so it looks more dynamic. And so I went that route. But yeah, it's been really interesting, and I feel so much respect and pity for the people that you had to animate the Unicron transformation scene. And that bit, I thought, I don't know. They animated in Transformers movie. They animate heat haze. I don't even want to think about how long that took to change the thing, but because you didn't have CG like we would have done now.
Yeah,
it was just like all done by hand, and I salute anybody that's done anything Transformers related, because there's so much. Each character needs to look right, because people beyond you, if they go like, oh well, no, that's not actually right. So yeah, there's a lot more research and it takes a lot more time. But I love them, so I had to do it.
Can I ask you about your inspirations, like what in terms of like probably not just the comic world, but like what you've read and what you've what comic artists you've seen before, and you've gone, oh, that's really inspired you. Because I'm always interested to find that out.
God, there's so many. I mean, I think one of the definite traits my art's always had, no matter how many stylistic changes I've been through, is it's like high action. There's lots of dynamism. There's lots of stuff going on and movement. And I put a lot of that down to the cartoons that we watched as kids. So we're talking like a lot of the better animated episodes of Transformers. They were a bit dynamic, and the Japanesey kind of influence. The intro to Thundercats. It's kind of something else. Like everything's moving, it's like quick and like dynamic. And I loved any time I saw any anime stuff, which I didn't see that often. So that played like a massive influence. And then, yeah, just stuff as growing up. I mean, there are certain influences you don't realize you've got until later. Like again, like obviously, I'm literally imagining Jeff Senior today. And I look back and I thought I always liked his stuff. I was until about 3 years ago, I was too afraid to use strong blacks because it was like that was a definitive. I've made a choice. There's no changing this. This is black. This is solid. Yeah. And even during that one, like when you see it, this is like a weird thing to call out, but Rodimus one of his legs is in shadow, and the outline I drawn was really nice. It's like I drawn it with a brush pen, and so the thickness and the quality of the line came out in this kind of lovely arc. And I thought, it's like killing your darlings. It was like breaking my heart because I thought I need to shade this because everything else is in shadow. But this looks really good, and this is like heartbreaking to get rid of this thing because I was like so proud of it. And like, okay, fine, get rid of it. It's in shading.
And I need to ask because you've got a Half-Life t-shirt on.
I do, yeah.
And I think like obviously the cool stuff, like the cool world of art is like in comics. But when you've got this art which is coming through in video games, and I was playing Expedition 33 the other day, and like sometimes I just stop and go, fuck, this looks amazing. Like, it just looks so beautiful.
Everything's good.
Fudge.
Dialogue, music.
Did you ever... you must have an interest in video games to wear Half-Life t-shirt. Do you ever look at video games and think, oh, that sort of art that they use
all the time. I think it's kind of... It's almost like a responsibility. Like, if you're an artist, you... In any field, to be honest, not just drawing, like we're talking like photography, talking acting, anything. The more influences and exposure you have to different things, the more you can pull from. And it's kind of because like if you were drawing it all from one stuff, well, like one thing, like say I was just like constantly looking at Transformers comics, my art would be very limited. Yeah. But yeah, you like see like a well-animated film, like stuff. Certain video games look amazing. Like I mean, some are absolutely gorgeous. And I've always found I tend to like the more stylized games, like the stuff. you always get the thing with a new video game. You'll have like the most realistic graphics ever, and then you look at it and think, okay, but in 3 years' time, we're going to be seeing like the eyes look dead or something, or the smile's weird or something along those lines. Whereas you can have, say, the Wind Waker, Zelda the Wind Waker, the original one.
They almost went back in graphics quality, didn't they?
It still looks decent.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm always looking as many places as possible. I try to be use the word mindful, which sounds a bit pretentious, but I try to absorb kind of what's around and what's going around. Like even today, I was on a walk on my lunch break, and this is going to sound really. I'm not going to say the word because it's a swear word, but it's going to sound no. I stopped and looked at a tree, and I was kind of like just looking at like the way the bark looked and the pattern it was making. So I tried to be open to that stuff all the time. That makes me sound ridiculous.
You were talking about fudging when it comes to drawing, and to be honest, you kind of do that with like toy photography. On a lot of aspects, you'll just go, hopefully no one will notice. I would draw attention to it, and if they do notice, I'll block them and put them in report. But I'm not that cool. But when you're as a transformer, you draw and you think to yourself, I detest this character. It's not even like Galvatron with the cannon, but it's the cannon on the forearm or it's on the shoulder. It's about the fact he's always seems to be different. Every reference you look at, he's different. and then you look at the toy you might have and think, this is a rubbish toy. And then you look at the animation and you think he's different in that scene, and you just think, I hate this character. I hate it.
But do you know what? That's almost easier. If they're drawn like if they appear inconsistently in everything, it's like, well, do you know what? It's fine. I'll do my take. I'm just another drop in the ocean. If everybody's drawing it, like I feel genuine sympathy for a lot of the IDW artists who had to follow the. This isn't a criticism of Alex Milne's art because it's really good, but it's also really excessively detailed. And there's kind of like there's like rivets and there's bits which everybody's got to replicate. And I've got to be honest, like if I was doing it, I was like, do you know what? No, you're getting my version. My version is being simplified. You're not having every one of these things detailed. It's like you're going to get more dramatic. I mean, I'm more the kind of Nick Roach school of approach for drawing stuff. It's like I want the image to sell itself first. I want it to be more impactful, more dynamic. Rather than be very, very precise. Like you won't find many straight lines. Like I don't use a ruler very often. Like most of my stuff's kind of like it's drawn and you feel the energy for it, and then that's actually what stopped me joining the Transformers fandom first off, like as far as like artwork, is that I was convinced for a long time my stuff being a bit more gritty and a bit more expressive and stylized, I thought I'd hit a load of pushback and people going like, no, this isn't right, we don't like it. And so for a long time, I'm talking like years, I didn't really... I was
Is it like a Transformers mafia out there, which we're not aware of?
Well, I don't know. I suppose like when you're a fan of something, you look at it and you see people be like really critical.
Yeah.
And then you kind of think, like, do I want to just line up into like walk into that swathe of bullets? I was like, I don't know. But yeah, eventually I kind of thought, do you know what, hell with it. I like Transformers. I love Transformers, and I always have. And so I'm just going to make my stuff. And if somebody likes it, great. It's kind of hopefully. And I've been really lucky, and that's like certainly, like the UK contingent absolutely have just embraced me with open arms. It's been lovely.
They are the best.
Very reassuring. They're really nice.
Just like we were talking about, we were talking at TF UK Con about the community. It's so lovely, the Transformers community. Like, and you always get fringes of communities which maybe sometimes are a bit harsh, but it just seems to be less of it in the Transformers community. They seem more welcoming. Andy, I think you got a question.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if the first question I had it might have already been answered, so I'm going to ask the second question because it kind of ties into what Jamie just said. Because Jamie asked you about who do you detest drawing, but I was going to ask you, who are your favorite characters to draw? Who are the ones that you really enjoy drawing, and maybe some of your favorite characters anyway?
Yeah, I mean, there's a telltale giveaway. If you look across my stuff, you will see Sharkticons. It's like
one or two.
Yeah, it's yeah, just one or two. And I love that. I mean, they're kind of. I drew. I don't know if I've still got them, but I was selling prints a while ago. If I've got like a shotgun with a balloon.
Yes,
and it's just
the fridge magnets of it as well.
Yeah, that's it. And it was just. I love the idea because like, in the film they're supposed to be this horrible thing which like, destroys Krennics, and like you think, okay, these are really bad news, but they look kind of dopey, and it's like I kind of love them for it. It's like they're kind of fat and squat, and they're like stupid, and they're kind of lumbering.
I feel attacked. I just.
We shall call him Nor.
I love them. I think they're great. And so yeah. So that's why I just drew it with the balloon. I thought like what they look like on their off time when they're not devouring other life forms. Yeah, I thought they just
flossing.
Yeah, they're just flossing. Yeah, that'll take a while. But yeah, I suppose it's fun actually because I like Hot Rod / Rodimus as a character, but I do not like these arm things. Those are annoying. They go all the way up his arm, and they're 3 parallel lines, and that kind of stuff gets on my nerves. Whereas, like the Dinobots are good fun, because especially because I exaggerate them as well. So it's like I will play with the shapes, and they will be like causing chaos. And so anything I can do that is fun. Anything where you can go a little bit off model is always great fun.
I need to catch up with the comments because there's a few questions coming in, and some of them asked a little while ago. So first one is from Mick. David, proudest comic cover you ever did?
Do you know what? That's a tricky one. I mean, I'm going to have it's a mixed soft spot on the first Terminator comic cover that I drew, because that was the first official licensed property that I'd worked on for a publisher, because I've done other stuff, but kind of either unofficial or for indie comics and stuff. But I don't know, I'm kind of mixed on that one, because at the same time as well as it's my first comic, like I said, a lot of my artwork is dynamic and moving and doing all these kind of crazy fun stuff. And this one was like, I try to, when I get enough of advance of what the story's about, I try to link the cover to the story, which I don't always have the luxury of. Sometimes I've just got to make a cool cover and hope it's vaguely related. But the first Terminator one I had to draw was the Terminator that's been underwater for about 30 years, and it's just been sat in position waiting to move up. And so although it was my first cover, it's stationary. It's got no action whatsoever. Even though there's a fish that I put in that's not supposed to be reacting to it. So it's the most still image I've ever drawn, which is not playing to my strengths. But that's still good fun. But I think probably one of the most fun ones I had was there's the cover for Terminator 4. Sorry to pick a Terminator one again. But it's literally, I drew that in like a day. It was like I was suddenly told like, oh, this needs to be in. I was like, oh crap! I had no
one with in the spacesuit.
No, not that one. No, that one I knew what the story was, and so I could actually make something. Do you know, that was quite fun because I drew that, and then they altered the artwork in it as they were going to draw that panel in the comic. So I was because I actually I sent a DM to the editor, the writer, Declan Shelby. And I said, oh, that's such a coincidence that I drew the same thing that was in the cover. That's really cool. And he's like, I'll be honest, no, we saw your cover and we thought we've got to get that shot. So that was cool.
Oh my God, they're like a third-party company.
Yeah. So no, maybe that one actually, because that was quite nice knowing that I'd influenced the book even though it's just on the cover. So change my answer, that's the one.
I've got that one, I think.
Oh, there we go.
One of my favorites, yeah, just amazing.
Yeah, that was good fun. That was one of those ones where the colours were a gift, because often I can draw the stuff fairly quickly, but I'm not as hot with colours. And I'll spend loads of time agonising over them and like changing one thing, changing another. Like, does this work? Whereas that one was kind of, the second I thought, hang on, astronauts have like a gold reflective thing. And I was like, gold, opposite colour, purple, done. And it's like, oh, I love it when that happens. So good.
Matt Dave's got a question. how important is it to be able to use digital art software well now compared with the pure ability to draw?
Good question, Matt.
Good.
That's a very good question.
Great question.
It's pretty important. I used to, for the last, let's say 10 years, so I don't seem too old. For the last 10 years, I've worked mostly exclusively digitally. Because you can change stuff faster. And I will always, like, even though I've gone back to working traditionally, I will start stuff on here, on this kind of lovely screen here, and I will kind of do my best because, like, say you draw something. If you need to just change the size, say that you've drawn the head too big or something, which, for like Transformers, if you ever notice, fun tip for you, if you see a Transformer, the head is always proportionately smaller than their body for a human than it would be, because it then sells the size. The frame of them looks much bigger and more imposing. If you see a Transformer with the right, like, human size head, it looks weird. It looks like some kind of odd. Yeah, it looks like a kind of cosplay thing. It looks really weird. So yeah, certainly for the layouts, you will find pretty much everybody will work because it's so much faster to make edits. So you can go like, okay, I'll move this here. I'll flip this element. I'll do this or that. It's very important, and certainly for coloring, it's so much easier because it's kind of necessity to color digitally. Because
I think I have to ask you about what you use, because I do a lot of photo editing where I'm coloring stuff and drawing stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I hate using the mouse now.
Oh God, don't use the mouse, dude. No. This is a. I can show you the pen here. It's a Wacom Cintiq, and so I draw directly onto the screen here, like this, and so it's like, so I get the same kind of feel as I would do on paper. Yeah, no, I never use a mouse just because it would take so long, and there's more strain on your wrists using a mouse because you got like repeated clicking and whatever angle you're using.
You don't need to worry about that with Jamie.
I'm thinking about, because you know how long I do to like edit stuff, and I'm just thinking this looks a lot easier.
It is much easier and faster. Yeah, it's much quicker. And like I'm saying, for like changing colors and stuff, if you were to paint something traditionally, you're kind of stuffed if the editor suddenly says like, oh well, no, do you know what, that blue needs to be red, but you can't do anything about that. Whereas on this, you can just kind of select it. That's also why I have flat colors, so I can just isolate one element. Say it was like a t-shirt or something. I can go, okay, cool, click the t-shirt. That's changing, and you just hue adjust something and kind of just go, okay, right, we're switching around the rainbow until we hit what we want. But yeah, it's a very important. It's a good question, Matt.
I do hue adjustments on the Photoshop sometimes.
There you go.
Right, so I think we caught up with the chat. Any questions from my co-hosts?
I was going to ask one question because I think it's pertinent to ask this, but again, I apologize if I missed it. I literally lost my mic and everything. Speakers all went down randomly, so I had to restart everything. What have you got lined up? Like, what's coming up now for you in the future that we're going to see? And I know you've already mentioned the Thunderclash comics, but if there's anything else you might want to drop into a discussion.
Stuff that I can tell you.
Of course,
certain stuff I can't. Yeah, certain stuff I can't say. I've got the Terminator's come to an end, but that's in the run, so I've done all those.
Who wins? No, sorry, you can't say
nobody wins in war, Jamie. Nobody wins. Tom Jones taught us that.
I'm doing some. I've got covers for Silverhawks. I'm doing the interiors, like the proper pages for. I can't tell you the name of it, but I can tell you at least two of you would be interested in the issue because it's an 80s property cartoon. But I can't.
Undercuts.
I can't say anything.
Or it's Masters of the Universe. It's one or the other. It's got to be one or the other.
But yeah, there is something. I'm waiting for the script to turn up, and then that particular 80s cartoon thing it's a special one-shot spotlighting a character that I'm doing.
Excellent.
And so that's coming up, so that should be very good.
Have you worked with the writer before?
No, do you know what? I don't know who the writer is. I've literally asked that. I've waited. I was offered it, and so I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll do that." And I can ask a load of questions. I've still not heard back yet, so I don't know. I don't
call
even know.
him Mr. A.
Yeah. But yeah, I've got that. I've got something in. There's a Boom Studios comic called Hello Darkness, which is like a horror anthology. I was in the first one, which was like a massive sellout. That was really good. Actually, that was really cool because we were supposed to be in issue 5, and then we turned in our story, and then they liked it, and then so they said, "Do you want to? Are you okay with us going to issue 1?" Like, yeah, sure. When I received the comic, they had so much faith in it that when it turned up to my door, it was like a big box full of comics because they had like 30 odd variants, and they sent me like all of them. And my wife looked at me and was like, "What have you ordered?" I was like, no. It's not me.
It's not me. It's not a Blood Angels Thunder Tank.
Yeah, it's not Cat's Lair. But yeah. So we were asked back, and I've just finished that, and so that's going to be a fun one coming out. And I think that's all the stuff I can say.
And you've mentioned about the Thunderclash comics already. Obviously, you've shown a bit of the artwork that you're doing,
Yes,
and
yeah.
that's up on your socials as well, isn't it? So people can have a look at that if they want to see it in a bit more detail.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else involved in that you want to shout out, or are you the most important person? So we don't need to hear about them.
Yes. I mean, to be honest, but no. I mean, they've announced. Nick Roach is doing a cover. A cover. A pin-up. Don Figueroa is doing a cover. Jim Stafford, he mentioned last week on last week's show. He's doing some stuff in there. It's do you know what? There are so many artists. Like you've got Gavin off TDRQ. And I'm not going to list everybody because it's going to take
no. You don't need to list everybody.
I'm going to miss someone. I'm going to miss some. I'll do everybody but one, and then that person will be in a mood with me. I'm like, oh, you didn't mention me.
Right. They can find information about it on
so many good artists.
Yeah, they literally there are so many good artists, and the thing is with this issue, they've added so many as has gone on that the group's almost doubled in size. The amount of people have got on there now.
Wow!
So you're guaranteed like something in there. And yeah, but my one, my print was kind of a cheeky one because I'd already I don't know if you were there for this bit, Andy. I said I was very honourable and gave the cover to Don Figueroa, or however these days now, because I'd had the previous 2 covers, and when he turned up, I was like, okay, that's really good.
Are you allowed to mention it?
I've mentioned it about 3 times. Oh, well, story's out.
I'll talk to you after the show.
This is exclusive. Go.
Or is it Don Figueroa? We don't.
Is it, or is it somebody else? Right? Yeah.
You just don't know.
Well,
it's like when Dave Wallace comes on and accidentally says stuff.
Style. He signed it. I swear he signed it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway,
unfortunately, we can't edit these things out, David. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's no pause it. Pause the show.
I don't mind. I'm the pain in the ass. Everybody else was doing like prints of the pin-ups of Thunderclash, and I'm like, well, if I'm not having the cover, I'm not going to do the same prints as everybody else. So I did G1. I said, well, where you go?
You do you.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to stand out one way or the other. But no,
is that like when you colour in between the lines and it's not your lines? Do you ever go, I'm leaving those lines? Screw it.
No, I never leave anyone hanging. No, do you know what? The only time I've worked on somebody else's stuff, you had there was a tweet up earlier from Ian. Oh God, what's Ian's name?
Arafai?
No. It's something. Not Chronicles of Cliff Jumper, or I can't.
Yeah, Ian Chronicles of Cliff Jumper. Yeah,
that's it. Yes, it is right. Yeah, I was only thinking, have I got too confused? No, he got me to ink. He had some Jack Lawrence pencils for a cover, and he sent me a scan. Said like, would you ink them? And I said, if Jack's okay with it, yeah, sure. And do you know what? I've never taken so long to ink something in my life. Because I was like, I've got to be respectful of Jack's stuff, and at the same time,
he's quite built. He works out, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, he's huge. Yeah, he can snap me in 2. Like, I'm a scrawny.
You're watching the TFN.
He's a great guy.
He's lovely.
That's with his material.
So after 2 years, I finished this work for Ian.
But so no, I know I'd be very careful about doing somebody else's stuff. No, I'd be much more reckless with my own stuff than anybody else's.
Oh, that's cool. Right, any last questions before we go to the actual discussion?
Oh yeah, we're still got to do.
Oh my god!
Strap in, fellas.
It's
Saturday comes early.
Longest show ever. Thanks so much, David. That was amazing, like absolutely amazing. And I'll put all the links to your website and also to your store in the comments. So if you're wondering, we want to find out more, head to the comments section. No, don't head to the comments. We chat. Head to the links in the show notes, and you'll see it all there. Ridiculous Badgers in the house. Hello, humans. Hello, Ridiculous Badger. So the discussion: what Transformer did you want to be as a child? Oh, there were so many. And what Transformer would you feel now you are? So who would like to kick us off with the discussion?
I keep go.
Go on, Jamie. Go on, sir.
I actually had two Transformers I wanted to be, so it was an amalgamation. I have a big word. Yay me. Amalgamation of
Just turning into a competition now.
yes.
Amalgamation, children.
Of
This is
Hot
brought to you
Lord.
by the words.
Brought to you by the letter A.
Don't ask me to spell it, dear God. So it was Hot Rod and Sludge. I always loved those two characters, and I think maybe Sludge because it was one of the first toys I remember having as a Transformer. But I loved because they were both nice enough. Sludge was carefree; he just followed the Dinobots and what they did. Big, thick, and British maybe, but I just think he was a lovable rogue. And then you had Hot Rod, who was toy, the archetype character of the 80s who's young, the sort of basically the person who's learning his trade. Who's destined to make mistakes and get his mentors killed, and then learn from that to take their places, like most 80s kind of characters were written at that time. And so I always felt as myself sort of identifying with what no one identified as Daniel, dear God. No one did. And it was always funny when you think about Spike, because Spike was obviously a lot older, and the kids watching it were identifying with this sort of teenager who was doing a dangerous job working in oil fields and trying to punch Decepticons which were made of metal. So the kids were obviously harder there, and I think with Daniel they were going backwards, regressing, going softer, which I don't think they needed to do. But yes, Hot Rod was the character identified as a kid. I wished I was like him. I wished I had that sort of boyish charm and be able to throw myself into danger to do the right thing, and always being positive and upbeat and moving forward, and not having to worry about the ramifications, which obviously got Optimus Prime killed. So he obviously didn't care about ramifications or shooting down a shuttle, not thinking that there might be survivors on board. No, that shuttle was going down, and it was going down hard. It's their fault for me getting killed. But it was that type of attitude, and I kind of liked that. And it was obviously transformed into a sports car. He had like RC, which was almost like the Luke Skywalker Princess Leia relationship, which thankfully didn't turn out to be like that because they were brother and sister. That was dodgy. But yeah, so it was always kind of Hot Rod, and to the adult, the character I think I turned into was Rodimus Prime. In the sense, I didn't really. I think I achieved a lot of stuff in my youth. You're laughing, Pete. I think you got a sports
I haven't said a word. I haven't said a word.
You're Dyson. And it's Rodimus Prime is what I think I've turned into, in the sense of you're full of self-doubt, because I think it's a thing a lot of people have, and I think sometimes we might misinterpret that by thinking we don't belong in a certain situation, or where we feel false being here in front of these other types of peoples, and they'll use different terms to describe that. But I think sometimes it's just normal self-doubt, and I think that's what Rodimus had. He was always second-guessing, questioning himself, and I think that's a good thing to have. And I think you can turn what sometimes people perceive as their weaknesses into a strength, because I think we haven't got long, we haven't got much time, and I think asking yourself, are you doing the right thing, and being that self-checking is a good thing. Because the trouble is, your friends are always going to say positive, nice stuff, and maybe not self-check you. and I think sometimes you've got to take that reins and responsibility yourself. And I think in many respects, Rodimus, who we might have seen as a weak character in the comics or the cartoon, the way he was written, was actually something most adults would appreciate with. And that's why I think I've turned into sort of Rodimus Prime in my wonderful youthful old age.
Good.
You want to give away your Matrix and go back to being young again?
My medallion is a hit the dance floor.
Also, you said you identified with Hot Rod. You said you identified with Hot Rod, but you also pointed out Hot Rod got his mentor killed. What are you trying to tell us here, Jamie? Is there a story? Who have you got killed? Tell us off there.
Maybe they've not died yet. Are you going to kill me?
What?
Well, I've got Pete on the list. I've got Pete on the list now. So
Watch yourselves at TFN on the list.
Right.
Update.
All right, I'll go.
It doesn't take up too much of your time, Pete. You'll be fine.
So another great question, David. Thank you. So I think for me, it was like you, Jamie. It was like Hot Rod. I think initially it was Sideswipe and Sunstorm. I just wanted to be them. I just thought they were the coolest. And sometimes it's when you don't get all the screen time. It's like when you think they're the best ones because you're like, oh, I see them. But it goes back to Prime, Megatron, Shockwave, Soundwave. A little bit of Sunstreaker and Sideswipe interacting, like chasing someone down a road and stuff. So I just thought they looked so cool, and like they're also obviously their alt modes were amazing. And then I loved Prime. I thought Prime was, I don't know why, because I think if you're really objective and you take a step backwards and you look at Optimus Prime, is he the coolest character in the world? He doesn't look it, he doesn't act like it, but he's just got this, I don't know, this center core of morality that I kind of almost related to my dad. And like, you always have that, like, what was your biggest influence in your life? It's always that sort of morality, and have that thing of like respecting everyone. My dad was always like, you should always treat people how you want to be treated. And it just almost kind of like a sense that you saw him. He's like, yeah, that made sense. But I don't think I wanted to be him, but I always loved him as a kid. And I wanted to be the Sideswipe and the Sunstorm to his Sunstreaker to his Prime. And then when the movie came out, and I think the 86 movie probably influenced me more than anything else. Like, oh god, I wanted to be Hot Rod. Like, he was like the coolest. He was like, I had Hot Rod, I had Optimus Prime as like my dad, like, and me as Hot Rod, and I didn't mean to kill my dad. Didn't think that as a kid. That wasn't how I know that happened in later life. I never thought that at the time. I never thought it was Hot Rod's fault at all. But me and my brother used to spend ages taking turns to reenact. Bear in mind, we were like 7 or 8 at the time. The last scene from when you have Galvatron stands up and he holds up the Matrix and says, like, you're a fool, Rodimus. No one can open this. And then he opens it and he goes, you got the touchdown. Like, we used to just jump on each other and do that and be like, right, it's my turn to be Optimus Prime. It's my turn to be Hot Rod. And we'd like rotate and just do that again and again and again for years. Like, it got a bit weird when we were 22 and we were still doing it.
Christmas became awkward.
I think filming it was the weird part.
But we made so much money.
And the honey was a good addition.
Yeah, but seriously, as a kid, like I vividly remember the reenacting it again and again with my brother, and we loved it. So yeah, it was definitely Hot Rod. And then growing up, I think probably growing up, it's probably Skull Cruncher, because I just really want to have now. I want to be able to open the top of my head and let someone in there and just drive me, and I just go through life really grumpily and just munch people. So yeah, that would be mine.
Yeah, Lisa, I think he's finally broken. Can you just come and get him?
Andy, would you like to go next?
Sure, why not? So I could have gone through all the boring stuff of Optimus Prime and but I didn't. The one I remember the most that I found the coolest was a bit later on, and it was always Double Dealer. But that's boring in itself because I talk about Double Dealer all the time. But I loved the fact that he was this intriguing character who could play both sides, and I still to this day am extremely disappointed he didn't get more time in the G1 comics. May have done a review of him on this channel, but that's neither here nor there. It's just to show off my G1 toy of him. But I just love the fact
David was saying how they sometimes draw the Autobots, like the robot's head, like human size.
Draw that.
On the
Draw
right-hand
that,
side.
Dave.
Feels like they've done it human size.
Oh, but he was great. So as a kid, I didn't go. It's really weird listening to you all. It's not weird, but it's weird for me listening to you all going on about Hot Rod. I wanted to be Hot Rod. I never did. I really didn't. In fact, coming out of that movie, I never saw Hot Rod as like the character I thought was cool. Coming out, I loved Galvatron and how overpowered he was and how just mental he was. Cyclonus almost said nothing. When you actually watch it back, Cyclonus says almost nothing, and yet I loved him. I loved the look of him. So the first movie toys I remember getting were the Decepticons and Wreck-Gar. I didn't want to be him, but I found Wreck-Gar really entertaining from Transformers the movie. I just thought he was just a really good laugher, and I think that's probably Eric Idle's performance as well. So as a kid, I don't really remember saying, "Oh, I really want to be this." I mean, you played as different characters depending on what was kind of the new thing. But Double Dealer was always one that stuck with me. And I remember, like, we'd play Transformers and I would be Double Dealer, which was great because it meant I could be on whichever side was winning. So that was excellent. That was really, really worked out well for me. As an adult, this was a real challenge. Like, David, when you said, which Transformer do you think you like? I don't think I personally, I don't think I'm like any one Transformer. But I decided that's not good enough. I can't just say I'm like this, a bit of this and a bit of that. So I let science take the lead. And I did several of those "What Transformer are you?" online quizzes. And I thought, let's see what they come up with. Now, I will admit, on several of them, they came back with Optimus Prime. And I'm not Optimus Prime. I wish I was in a way, but I'm not. I'm not Space Dad. But another character kept coming up, and it was an Autobot. Because, like, I like the Decepticons, but it kept coming up as an Autobot. Apparently, I might be a good guy. And even I was surprised by this. But here it is. Apparently, I'm Jazz, which I found really strange. I was like, really? Because, like, you know, that doesn't strike me as Jazz. But science, Pete. Can't argue with science. So let's go through it. So Jazz is basically described as a laid-back, cool character who's pretty good under pressure, but he's also a lot of fun. He's good to chat to, good at parties, sociable, kind, and apparently, according to the answers I put into these quizzes, this is the character that came up the most times. I found that strange because, like, I was like, I don't turn into a Porsche, I don't own a Porsche, but apparently you can't argue with the science. Again, science, baby. And apparently I am Jazz. And just to prove that, oh, by the way, there's lots of lovely Jazzes. And pick your favourite from all of those.
The one that got torn apart.
Yeah, he was great, wasn't he? For almost 5 minutes of screen time. But yeah, so I was taken aback by this, but there's the science, baby. I screenshot one of them because I thought I need to prove this. So there he is. He's laid back. Music. I do like music. I don't know about
what music did you
using
pick?
Loud sounds. I suppose I could keep shouting at people till they stop talking to me. But then it says fun at parties and a chill person who goes with the flow. And one thing I will say is I have had this said to me many times by colleagues I've worked with about how nothing seems to apparently fluster me, which is bollocks. But it has been said to me anyway. But you never seem flustered. You never seem to get stressed like Ofsted in. And so it's like, everything will be fine. Trust me, on the inside, I'm screaming. But anyway. That's basically who apparently science decided I was. I am, as an adult.
What were the questions like? Did the questions like,
they were
awesome?
So mad. It was so
went,
weird.
yes.
These questions. Are you Jazz? Yes. No. Do you know what the worst thing was? And I will be completely honest. On one of them, because I was like, no, this isn't right. This can't be right. You can't keep coming back to the same answers. And so one of them, I deliberately tried to click. Half of the answers were like honest answers, and half of them I was going, which one sounds the most like an evil Decepticon? Still came back as Jazz. Unbelievable. What the hell? So anyway, science, baby. So I am, as an adult, apparently Jazz. Which is what everybody tells me anyway.
Yes, because
there you go.
Rhythm.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen me dance and heard me sing.
I'll go next because I'm concerned that otherwise if it ends on me, it's going to go flat. Because
I want to be
Mick, I don't listen to death metal. I mean, I don't mind it, but I just don't listen to it.
Yeah. Well, because you see, the thing is that mine is really innovative, and
here we go.
Nobody's going to be prepared for this. Because the one I most wanted to be as a kid was Hot Rod. It was the same thing. It was like I came in late to the movie because my dad was like very disorganized and didn't care at all about seeing the movie, and so I missed the whole kind of Lithone bit. So I came in just to see everybody get killed and offed, and I was like, oh god, there's nobody left. And then Hot Rod turns up, and then he was so cool. Even though he's pink, it didn't matter. He was like he turned into like the coolest car. He was into like he had all the best lines. He's into driving over a Insecticon's Insecticon's head, knocking them in, and he had all the best lines. And in that film, if you go through like so many lines he's given, it's like, okay, that's the one you're giving to the lead character.
Yeah.
And so I really kind of
played by Judd Nelson as well.
Yeah, who at the time was very cool.
Yeah, from
so at the time.
Yeah, everyone wanted to be him from Breakfast Club.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was big.
7-year-old me had no idea who he was, though. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. No.
I knew who Eric Idle was.
Yeah, I kind of.
Leonard Nimoy.
Oh, the only ones I knew were Leonard Nimoy because my dad goes, "Oh, that's Spock," and then Ultra Magnus because my dad goes, "Is that the guy from Unsolved Mysteries?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was."
What was his forgotten his name.
Robert Stack.
Robert Stack.
Yeah.
Robert Stack was that.
He did a great job as Ultra Magnus.
Yeah, he's very, very good.
And the guy who did Cup, he was from Heart to Heart. The guy who would help them, wouldn't he?
Lionel Santa.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Might have watched it a few times.
We all might have watched it too many times.
And so again, being like horrifyingly original, for like who I think I turned into was not quite for the same reasons as you, Jamie, but Rodimus Prime. And it was because there were numerous elements where in season 3, which I quite liked, of Hot Rod would just be like, he's got this whole thing he didn't expect, this whole responsibility of adulthood where he's in charge of all these other people and he doesn't want it. He's finding it like it's tedious. He's dealing with things he doesn't want to do. There's a brilliant line where he's like, Ultra Magnus says it's the mantle of leadership, and he just turns around to Magnus and says, "Can I interest you in a used mantle?" and he wants to give it up. And there's a moment in that horrible. It's all coming around. Oh my god, we could have planned this. It's like in the Dark Awakening when Optimus Prime turns up. He's like, sure, take the Matrix. I'm Hot Rod again. Yeah, this is fantastic. And then in the Hate Plague when he does that, but then he can, like, you know what, I've got to, like, he takes everything back. Not the Hate Plague one. I was actually thinking Dark Awakening again, where he takes it back. He's like, no, actually, I need to be in charge. He's like, I need to accept my responsibilities and stuff. Which is why it's a shame at the end they kind of undid that and brought Optimus back. But it was that kind of thing. Like growing up was like, oh crap, I can't like play as much as I want to do and have fun as much as I want to do. And I live a charmed life, let's be honest. I draw stuff for a living. I get paid to draw a load of the stuff that I loved as a kid. So I'm actually quite happy with who I am now. But just for the record, and if my wife ever catches this, I'm actually very
we all are.
Yes, we all are significant others, everyone. But no, it was that kind of that thing of like adulthood was a bit of a shock on how much you had to kind of give up and stuff. But I'd be like a Rodimus if there was a season 4 where it's like, do you know what, leading everybody's okay. It's like, I'm okay with the responsibility now.
Yeah. I always like I can't remember, I think someone flagged it in the show I was in 2 weeks ago where, is it where they have the Cybertronian Olympics and like a Hot Rod has a bit of, Rodimus has a bit of a meltdown because he has to make a decision on 2 things. Like, given the choice of 2 things, like, can't handle that. It's like, I remember me being like that when I was 6, but yeah. Right, Pete, take us to the end of the show, sir, like you often do.
I'm going to say, do you know what? I'm not ashamed of it. Grimlock. Because why would you not want to be a robot dinosaur when you were a kid that was the strongest?
It's great art. You isn't it, dinosaur?
What? Why would you not?
With a low IQ.
Yeah, you could be Hot Rod and be really cool and get to do all this cool stuff. However, you're not a fudging dinosaur, are you? I was going to say Sag, but I don't feel like it would have conveyed the right message. So it was Grimlock. He was my favourite as a kid. He will always be my favourite.
I love Grimlock.
Why would you not want to be a dinosaur when all the rest of them are pathetic cars? And which
you like best? Sorry, which version?
Say again, mate?
Which version of
G1?
Grimlock you like best?
G1.
The comics or the TV?
Oh, TV, because
Yeah,
TV
no,
with
I
comedy.
yeah,
Amazing.
but the comic one, he's a bit of a fudging. I mean, no. It's more willing to get things done. Where in the cartoon, he's just a nice guy.
Yeah, he was a tad autocratic in the in the comic. He was a bit.
It was the way he was written.
Yeah. No, I love Grimlock.
So Grimlock, and I think I most identify, and this will be a source of much hilarity, as Cup now, because I work with a lot of young people, and I find myself at least 2 or 3 times going, "Oh, I remember when," and it's just like I genuinely, I am now.
Young punk.
You hear yourself talking, and you go, "I am literally a cross between Cup and Uncle Albert from Only Fools North." I am just missing during the war.
You need to watch the beard.
Yeah, agreed.
I think I'm the youngest member as well on Transformers the show.
Yes, I am.
Well, factually, if you want to use facts, Paul, then yes, he is the youngest member. But in his heart,
I don't like to dwell on it.
He's about 90.
And in terms of my employment, I'm by far one of the oldest, which is upsetting. So I would say yes, Grimlock and Cup, only because
You got bad knees at Cup.
Yes. And I have loads of war stories.
Yeah.
You got there in your rotator cuff after the half marathon.
Lots of burrs.
I mean, that's fair.
Lots of burrs.
Did you go to Emma? Fix me.
But she couldn't, and that's why you walked
She
out.
walked away.
Exactly.
Going in,
Ed's got
got
the right
you.
idea. You have to listen to the science, Lee. That is correct. Science doesn't lie.
We're gonna have to end the show because it's freaking
Monday.
late.
Monday.
It was brilliant. That's probably one of my favorite shows ever. So, Dave, thank you so much for coming on. That was amazing.
Cheers, David.
Oh, no, thank you. I really enjoyed it.
And everyone in the chat, you were brilliant. Great questions. Made me laugh a lot. And Pete, Andy, Jamie, as always, you were cool. If you want to head over to Transformers the Show on Facebook, we have a group there. And as always, if David Cousens, if you look into the comments, there is all the links that you need to explore that more. Thanks so much for my co-hosts. Thanks so much for our guests. We're getting tonight, and we will see you next week at 8 o'clock on a Friday night. Bye.
It's time for Transformers, the show! From Michael Bay to Marvel, UK, and everyone on in between. Breaking news and toy reviews, every robot turns wet green. Grab a brew and join the crew, become part of our scene. Bring your mom, let's drink her own, make sure you're at least 18. Welcome to the show, third party and let's roll. Friday nights, let's go, Transformers the show. Friday nights, let's go! Transformers, the show! Transformers, the show!
Dick.